Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you all see me? Most importantly, and I stress this, no matter what you're going through in life, this is the most important thing to pay attention to. Can you all hear me? Mic check. What's happening, people? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Let me just, go ahead and grab the chat real quick. Pop this out. Bring this over here. Oh, okay. All right. So, while we let a bunch of people join in the chat, let's start at the top. Alrighty, so we got Infinite Chris in the chat with the triple exclamation point, or that might be a quadruple exclamation point. I don't know. I'm wearing glasses for a reason. We got Hibachi. He said he's first, but Chris was actually first, because Chris is infinite. Chris is inevitable, so I don't know about that, Hibachi. Unless y'all both came in at the same time. Either way, someone came quicker, so Hibachi, maybe you don't want to be the first person. Maybe. We got Julian Phoenix in the chat. Can you talk about the abysmal box office? Yes, we will definitely touch on some of the Memorial Day weekend box numbers, because they are fascinating to say the least. We got Flame in the chat. He's alive. He's freed from Madam Web. Oh, it's not just me who's alive, bro. We all made it through. We all made it through. We're going to discuss that in a week, in a second. Oh, man. If Madam Web was that bad, it would have taken me out of commission for a week. We got Zubin Jacob in the chat. 2 weeks in a row. Damn, I know. Who is this guy, Neo? Like, who does this guy think he is? Strolling onto the YouTube scene after 2 months, doing not one stream, but 2 streams? What the nerve of this man. The nerve of this guy. Who else is in here? Who needs gaming news when we have Neo? That's right. You guys get an eclectic mix of me just talking about what scotch we're going to drink tonight, sprinkled in with some gaming news. Listen, what other YouTube channel is doing it like that? I swear to you guys, man. Come on now. He's a trained journalist through and through. Listen, I focus on the real hard-hitting stories. Like, come on now. The Shadow Puppeteer of IGN. I like that title. We got Rhino in the building. Yeah, that's right. We back, Kingpin. We back, baby. We got Pooh Bear. We got Long Live Kevin Samuels. Just smashed this chick to the Gongaga theme. What a wonderful day. Take a shot. Oh, first off, it's too early in the night to take a shot. And after that Madam Web stream, I don't know if I'm going to be drinking for a couple days. But that man said to the Gongaga theme. Yo, that is wild. But we'll wait a little bit before we touch on the spicy stuff. But shout out to you, my guy. We got DIMWITMONKEY in the chat. Oi, 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 oi. What's up? We got Otaku Underground. We got B-Rex. Xbox adding CODs. Game Pass is making me buy a Series S. I'm ruining gaming for y'all, and I apologize. Man, if y'all Series S owners don't, man. We got Cold in the chat. We got Kory Gryffindor. I'm going Ghost. Wow, Kory Gryffindor actually here early for a change. I know usually with like the time differences and shit like that, it's a little later, but he going Ghost. Hey, we got David Biglot in the chat with the big old what's up, everyone. We got Exploit. We got JFam. Yo, more like Blacked Ops 4. That man, Jason. Listen, ever since Jason got himself a smartphone, all I'm saying is, shit ain't never been the same. I remember when he was just a young, pure, innocent child, and now look at him, making Blacked.com references. Oh, God. Blacked Cock 6? Is that the title of the upcoming porno, Jason? Is that what it is? Are you an EP executive producer on it? God. This is what happened to the little child I knew. We got NKDN. Hello to all the beauties. Oh, yeah. We got the human AI guy. What's up, Chris? We got Burnt Easy Atlanta, my guy. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing over there, bro? Professor Sparks. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, we got a new nickname over the weekend. We got GC Plugs in the chat. Bobby, what's up, my brother? We got Stakona. We got Beetle Rods. He's back. Yes, I am Rack. Yeah, buddy. Back at it like a crack addict, some would say. We got Michael Wells. We got Cosmotrology. Neo, yo, is that my man Strictly in the chat? My brother, what's going on, fam? How you doing, Strictly? I haven't got a chance to watch today's video, but I definitely got to peep that shit later. We got Pierre the Gamer. I enjoyed the Madam Web watch party. Yes, sir. Oh, you had a short shift today? That's what it was, Kory? I feel it, man. I feel it. Who else is in here? We got Michael Williams in the chat. So not only do we have Michael Wells in the chat, but we got Michael Williams, bro. Something about the Michael W's. Hey, we got Dave in the chat. Nostalgic. What's up, Neo? Hey, what's up, my man? How you doing? What's going on to everybody joining the stream tonight? If y'all can do me a favor, if you're just tuning in, make sure y'all hit that like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. Helps send this out into the ether. And we might as well just get the intro out of the way first and foremost. So, because, you know, like one thing I get distracted on is when I'm doing the shout outs, we get sidetracked by some of the comments, and then shit just goes left. Somebody makes a Mayo reference, and then Flame and Don Otaku start going at it, and then Don Otaku says something stupid, and then the rest of the chat starts going at him, and you know what I'm saying? So let's just get the intro out of the way first and foremost. But I noticed we got the homie Jess joining in. Hello again to you too, Jess. 2 weeks in a row. It is nice to see you. But what's going on, people? What's up? Welcome to another fabulous and fantastic installment of Ask Neo. If y'all are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. Ask Neo is my weekly Q&A series where you guys ask me questions and I answer them, or attempt to answer them to the best of my ability. Sometimes it works out rather well and we have a nice lean 2-hour podcast, and other times we're here for 6 hours talking about me being the Senate. What'll happen today? Who's to say? We'll spin the dice on that one, or play Russian roulette with a fully loaded assault rifle. Whichever tickles y'all's fancy. Whichever one doesn't get us demonetized. But anywho's, there's no real flow or structure to the Ask Neo show. It's just us chilling out, relaxing. So this is the perfect thing to play if you guys are on your way home from work, or maybe you're heading into work, or maybe you're clocked in serving the man, but you got one ear pod in your ear. It's the perfect companion piece for those shows. If you're at the gym doing some cardio, getting some gains to lifting gods, or, you know, you're just chilling out playing a video game, or you might be cooking dinner, or you might be clapping cheeks, whichever, or I appreciate you guys tuning in. So down below in the video description, there are a couple of links of interest. So first things first, all of the social media outlets. Yes, every single one of them that I am the most active on, from Twitter. Yes, we're always going to be calling it Twitter around these parts. Twitter, my Instagram page, and our Discord community, the Phantom Weirdos, which we actually just hit a incredible milestone over the weekend, you guys. You might recall last week at the conclusion of Ask Neo, I said that we were going to be doing something special with the Discord community. We were going to be having our very first community movie night. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, to get more involved with the Discord community, because, you know, I pop in there from time to time like a good black dad to say, hey kids, you guys doing all right? Yeah, you know, tune in for the stream. You know, I pop in from time to time to check in on folks. But one of my commitments, at least for the foreseeable future, is I want to at least do one type of community session a month if possible. And considering I had the weekend off, I said, hey, what better way to celebrate Memorial Day weekend than by watching the greatness that was Madam Web. So first things first, I want to give a huge shout out to the homie Jason for setting everything up. That is all I will say for legal reasons. But he basically made it so everyone in the Discord community who attended was able to watch Madam Web with no issues whatsoever. So for legal reasons, Jason, so much thanks and appreciation for you, my friend. And shout out to everybody who joined in on the stream. We had like anywhere from like, I think 16 to 25 people popping in and out, and people were there for the long haul, man. We started streaming, I want to say around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I don't think we got off the stream until 1 a.m. The movie was about 2 hours long, and man, I'm not going front. It was a fucking vibe, bro. We got a bunch of the people here tonight. We have Flame, we have Chris the AI God, Pierre was in there. We have Chris Forth, what's up, my brother? We had a bunch of people in there, man, and it was just pure comedy, bro. It wasn't just us watching the movie, you guys. It was like, dude, it was insane. We were taking shots, we were riffing on the movie, there were soundboards going off left and right. It was just so funny, man. It was like literally one one of those things where you had to like be there. You had to see it to believe it, man. It just got so chaotic, but it was so much fun. We had a great time, and then after that we were just vibing, just talking about random shit in the Discord. So it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning into that, and I definitely want to do more of those in the future. Considering we did watch Madam Web, I felt it would be disingenuous of us to not watch the film that started it all, that being Morbius. So yes, next on the docket is going to be Morbius. So Morb heads, rise up, Morb Nation. We got a new movie ahead of us. So we're gonna go ahead and situate that. I don't exactly know when that is going to happen, but like I said, follow me on Twitter, tune into the streams, and I'll be posting updates about when it is going to happen, whether it's going to be on a Saturday night or it might be on a weeknight. If it is going to happen on a weeknight, I'll definitely try to schedule it a little earlier in the evening, so like 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just to get it so people in like different time zones, it's not something that I have to go to bed at like 6 a.m. in the morning for. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of fun. Everybody was completely respectful. There weren't really any crazy mic problems, which is awesome. And yeah, I did actually manage to record the audio for the movie party. So we have like a whole commentary going on. But the problem with that is I just recorded the audio straight. So it was us watching the movie. So you had our voices there, but there was also the audio of the movie. So I don't think I could swing uploading that to YouTube. There might be a copyright thing going on with that. I mean, yeah, it's not the video portion, but it is the audio. And if I was a professional, I would have separated the two or found a way to do that before I recorded it. But I do have the audio there. It is available in all of its glory. So, you know, if anything, I probably might just like drop that in the Discord community for anybody who wants to download it and just play it alongside if they ever did want to rewatch Madam Web. Or if anything, what I am thinking about doing just for shits and giggles is, Jason, if you could legally find a way to send me Madam Web legally for those listening. As soon as I joined the stream, Neo's talking about clapping cheeks. Hey, listen, I was just making a reference. I wasn't bringing it in. Hey man, listen, this is a Christian YouTube stream. Listen, no, everybody in this chat, no one in this chat has ever even looked at a girl before, or if they are a girl, they've never even looked at a guy before, or if they're into both of that stuff, no, sacrilege. Because we don't do that around these parts. We're very wholesome. We read our Bibles, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about on the phones. We got like the big books and everything. Right here, man. Let me whip out the Bible for you guys right here. This is a first edition. But yeah, so if anything, I'm thinking we'll just for like shits and giggles, just to post on like Twitter or something. I think it'd be fun if we just like splice the audio and the video together, and then we just take specific scenes and just like, hey guys, remember when we watched Madam Web and then this happened? I think that shit would be a lot of fun. But yeah, kudos and shout outs to every single person who joined us for that stream. It was a lot of fun, and we are definitely going to do that more in the future. Like I said, I want to try to do it at least like once a month. We have some type of a Discord community activity, whether it is us watching a movie or us playing a game. You know, the community game nights I think are going to be a lot of fun as we get more and more multiplayer games coming out. Like there was that, what was it, like 33 Immortals? I think that should be coming out this year, right? So I think that'd be a fun game to just bring a bunch of people on board. We did have an Among Us community game night, I think like last year, and we had it before, like during lockdown and COVID and everything. But yeah, just like those low barrier of entry type of games where anybody can just like pick up and play, you know, like the Jackbox Party Pack, Quiplash, things like that. But yeah, so yeah, shout out to the Discord community. But other than that, you guys, this is Ask Neo. It's just gonna be us chillaxing for the next I don't think I'm gonna go really long tonight for the stream. It's probably just gonna be a solid like 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, depending on if something crazy happens. But you know, we're gonna be here for like another, you know, hour and a half. So yeah, you know, sit back, relax. There are a couple of topics that we are gonna talk about, two of which people have pointed out. But yeah, if there's anything else that sounds interesting to y'all, then feel free to comment. And last order of business, as far as like supporting the channel is concerned, make sure you're liking the video, sharing things out on Twitter. That helps out tremendously. Also, super chats and channel memberships are a great way to support the channel. You get some custom emotes and things like that. And last order of business is shout out to all the mods who are joining us here tonight. We've got the homie Don Otaku, Flame, NKDN doing God's work, and it's been pretty good so far. We haven't encountered too many random bots, definitely more so on Twitter than on here. But yeah, you guys, let's just sit back, relax, and enjoy the night. So yeah, feel free to ask some questions, you guys. Yeah, listen, like I said, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a waiting period before we go ahead and do Morbius, because there is going to be a period of time where we have to recover. We can't just dive straight from Madam Web into Morbius. I feel like that might be too much trauma, and I mean, I'd have to buy another bottle of alcohol. Like, guys, when I bought, it's kind of hard to see because the bottle is dark, but you can probably see if you like look close enough. This bottle was full when we started watching Madam Web, and about like 70% of it is gone. That just goes to show you how crazy that night got. Oh man, but I don't regret it whatsoever, man. That next day I was feeling very hot. I woke up sweating. I was like, oh damn, I'm sweating out all this alcohol. All right, but yeah, go ahead and start asking some questions. Kingdom Hearts Gamer says, have you played Stellar Blade yet? It is so fun. No, I have not gotten a chance to dive into Stellar Yams. It is on my list to play, and I'm happy that everybody in the community is playing it, but I'm just still working through these long-ass JRPGs, man. You know, between Persona 3 Reload and freaking Rebirth, and then, you know, just like everything else in between when I'm not gaming, bro. It's tough out here, man. Like I'm just like fucking hell, bro. But that's like a great in between type of game to play. Like when I just don't want to play an RPG, just want something that's just like a fun action game. Yeah, it's on the list. And by the time I probably get to it, it'll probably be $20. Shout out to the porn bots. Hey, you oh man, this guy. You a different one. How's that door is treating you, Neo? I'm drinking this Knob Creek whiskey. It's pretty good, man. I still got the bottle here that we ordered off of Uber Eats. I haven't finished this yet. I think we drank this one on the last stream. We took a couple of shots. But yeah, I'm taking my time with this one. I'm not trying to get too sauced. Don Otaku says, how do you live knowing Flame hasn't played Fire Emblem? I mean, that's the thing. Having Flame, giving Flame access to your life and messaging him, it's a gamble that you run. Oh, shout out to the homie DC Gaming who gifted a membership to the channel. I appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much for that. B-Rex Media, who's been a member for the past 2 months of the Phantom Weirdo tier. I'm not sure if you're your type of show, but have you watched Smiling Friends? Episode 1 of season 2 was like a perfect critique of the gaming industry. That is on my list. I just added it to my queue. I believe it was like on Max, right? And everybody has been talking about that. And from what my friend told me, it's like one of those like really easy to watch type of shows where it's just like quick, like boom, 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 boom type shit. Oh, so yeah, Kory Gryffindor got the membership from DC Gaming. That is awesome. That is great. So yeah, Smiling Friends is on my list of things to check out. I'll probably be binging. I've been binging, like I said, when I'm not gaming, a lot of like TV shows and movies. Like I finished up because I told you guys I'm rewatching the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's I watch it every year. But like now, like this is like that time of the year I do. I watched Fellowship of the Ring. I just finished up Two Towers last night, and then the only one I have left is Return of the King. But that right there, it's probably going to take me a solid like 2-3 days to finish, just because it's a freaking 4-hour movie, the extended edition, mind you, and that's the only editions I watch. But yeah, I remember there was a time where I would watch like the entire trilogy. If I had like a weekend, I would watch one movie a day, and then boom, I'm good. Now I spread it out over the course of 2 nights for each movie. So, like, when I watched Fellowship of the Ring, I watched one disc one night, and then the second disc another night. Same thing for Two Towers. I watched one disc one night, one disc another night, and then that's going to be what it's going to be like for Return of the King. But it is worth it, man. It is worth it, especially Return of the King, and that just, the ending, the culmination of everything. It's fucking beautiful, bro. Best trilogy of all time. So, yeah, going back to the comment about Flame, the thing about Flame is that, like, sometimes you get some good things out of him. He's got some insight and critiques into stuff like Warframe. And, you know, every now and then he has something interesting to say about the industry. But then it just comes with a whole bunch of other weird shit, man. Like, him just dissing Fire Emblem. Him dissing most Nintendo shit doesn't really make much sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make much sense to me. Because Fire Emblem, I feel like, would be right up Flame's alley. I don't understand why, other than the fact that it's not on Nintendo. And I understand it from a principle point of view. Like, if you bought a Nintendo Switch with the type of games Flames want to play, he'd only have like a handful of them, so it's not worth it. And just with the way Nintendo handles like their infrastructure and everything, I know Flame would be like, why are they like this? And I'm like, buddy, trust me. We've all been asking ourselves that questions for like 8 years now. Why is Nintendo like this? And even more so if we're not counting the Switch. We're talking about everything else. Why is Nintendo like this? But yeah, no. If you really like Flame, you played Unicorn Overlord, right? If you like that game, you're definitely gonna like Fire Emblem, dude. JFam says, how was Furiosa? Hey, man, that Furiosa, though. Okay, so last Friday, the homie JFam and I, we went out and we watched Furiosa together in that crisp Dolby Cinema at AMC. And overall, man, I like the movie. I don't think it was as good as Fury Road, but at the same time, it's different compared to Fury Road and everything that the stories were trying to tell. But overall, it was a really, 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 really solid time at the theater. Great performances all around. I think some franchise best, to be honest, especially with Anya Taylor-Joy, her performance without really saying much in the movie. And then the child actress, I forget her name. She, like honestly, it felt to me as if they were filming this movie with both, like one actor at different stages of their life, if that makes sense. Like the child actress and Anya Taylor-Joy, personally, they felt like they were the same person, like in terms of their mannerisms and movements. And there was a point in the movie where it kind of felt as if, where does it switch to Anya Taylor-Joy and where is it still this child actor? I mean, at a point you get it, but then there's one period in the movie, I'm not trying to get into spoilers, but where the character is fully covered. And, you know, Anya Taylor-Joy is like a pretty small individual. So it was like, all right, is that still the child or is that Anya Taylor-Joy? And then she takes off the thing. You're like, oh, that's Anya Taylor-Joy. Okay. But yeah, great performances. Chris fucking Hemsworth. That man had so much fun in this movie. I love this recent trend of like, it's weird to say like MCU actors, but the roles they're most famous for, like MCU actors, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, after they've put their tenure in the Marvel movies, they just go and they play like these antagonists. Like I just rewatched Knives Out yesterday, and Chris Evans is so friggin' good in that movie as an adversary. And same thing for Chris Hemsworth's character in Furiosa, man. He was phenomenal. There was like one particular scene in the movie that it's towards the tail end where it's just on full display, man. Like you get a glimpse of that in some of the marketing, like one particular line he says, but the setup for the scene there, whew, so good, man. But overall, Furiosa was really solid. I highly recommend it. Again, not as good as Fury Road. Fury Road definitely was more like we're kicking things into like level 10 high gear. All throughout, beginning and end. I felt like Fury Road definitely had a better supporting cast too. But Furiosa, for the story that they were trying to tell with these particular characters, mainly like two characters, if I'm being honest, two and a half characters, three characters. That's what it was focused on versus Fury Road, which just had a better like ensemble of everything happening. But it's still great. It does suck, however, that it's not performing that well at the box office. But there's a myriad of reasons. So first things first, I don't know why people think Mad Max is this big franchise. It's coasted by purely for the art form for all these decades. It was like one of those like niche underground classic type of movies that people who were really into the shit back then were like, yo, Mad Max was so fucking rad, bro. And then Fury Road comes around, the first Mad Max movie in forever, and then it's a critical darling. Fans love it, but audiences really didn't show out for it because modern audiences don't have an attachment for that. Even though it had like recognizable actors and everything and had cool action, it didn't really do that well. Furiosa, on the other hand, definitely had a lot more going against it. I mean, it was a movie that was coming out almost a decade later. It was a prequel, which prequels are usually hard sells. And just in general, yeah, from a quality standpoint, it probably wasn't as good, but it's still great. It's like it's like when you put like all the best stuff together, obviously there's going to be one that's not as good, but it's still like top 2 Mad Max movies, if that makes sense. There was a lot going against it, and the unfortunate reality of the situation right now in the movie going industry is that people aren't showing up for films as much as they used to. Now, that's not to say that the box office is in danger of collapsing or anything, but one thing that you've definitely noticed, especially as we've transitioned from a post-pandemic, post-lockdown era of entertainment into some sense of normalcy, is that people aren't going to movie theaters the way they used to. So I like to point to 2019. Obviously, that was the last year before the pandemic, but it was the last year where you just saw the box office explode. Like damn near every other week, there was a movie that was hitting $1 billion, man. I mean, like almost all the live action Disney movies hit $1 billion. All the Marvel movies that year hit over $1 billion. Endgame did over $2 billion, almost $3 billion. And that's not counting all the other franchises that are out there. Like, movies were killing it back then. And that was just a handful of years ago. But what we have come to find out is that 4 years later, because, you know, last year definitely took a hit too, audiences aren't showing up to see those exact same movies. And we saw it with, like, big budget superhero movies, The Flash, The Marvels, you know, even smaller movies like Blue Beetle, the big live action Disney movies such as The Little Mermaid, animated Disney movies that you thought would be a hit, like Wish, like franchises, tentpole stuff, everything was flopping. Everything that you thought would be a big bona fide hit, people weren't showing up for. And I like to think there's a couple of reasons. So first things first, the obvious elephant in the room you can't ignore, shit has gotten way too expensive in the world. Like, at first it was just people complaining about grocery store prices, but then when you start looking at everything outside of grocery stores, you start looking at the price of entertainment and how that's gone up significantly. You look at the small upticks in prices for your subscription services. You look at even like smaller shit, like a lot of the companies that be throwing you all these crazy deals aren't really throwing you the same crazy deals that they used to. Like, I remember during lockdown and during like the first couple years removed from COVID, Uber Eats, I know this is like a fat nigga talking, but like Uber Eats would throw out these like 50% off an entree that's up to $15 and you get 3 of those. They would throw that shit out like every single week religiously, bro. Now I only get those once in a blue moon. Now, yes, that is anecdotal, but that's just an indication. Like, shit was so much like more fruitful like 2 years ago. And then, yeah, shit has just started to tighten up. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of companies have pulled back on those things. There have been a lot of layoffs across various industries and entertainment. I mean, we just talked about like the thousands of layoffs, like every other ass Neo stream. And then when you factor that in with people just trying to save their money, not trying to spend money at the movie theaters, because movie theaters have gotten ridiculously expensive. Now, as someone who loves going to the movie theaters, I go to the movie theaters at least once a week. I see something, whether it's a classic movie that's back in theaters or something I'm looking forward to. I love going to the movie theaters. To me, it's not that big a deal. I pay for the monthly subscriptions to both Regal and AMC, so altogether, I pay like $45 a month, and I can see as many movies as I want. And I love that, considering if I want to see an IMAX or a Dolby Cinema ticket, that's the price of a monthly subscription. Yet I can still see more movies. Now, for me, it works out fine, and I don't mind that. And for a lot of people out there, if they live in territories where it's cheap to go to movie theaters, like, $10, $8, of course. But for the vast majority of a lot of people, movie theaters, like the average is getting to the point where it's like $15, $16 for a movie on something that you might not know if you're going to enjoy. If it's like $8, sure, it's like whatever. But if you're talking $16 and then you also have a family, 16, you're close to like what? Over $50, well over $50 actually, close to $100 for a family of 5 for tickets. Regular 2D showing, not counting discount tickets, not counting matinee Tuesdays. And then you factor in popcorn, and then you factor in drinks. I know a lot of people will like to say, well, you don't have to get those things at the movie theaters, or you could sneak stuff in. But for some people out there, going to the movies is having a movie-going experience. And it's just gotten ridiculously expensive to do that. And the other elephant in the room, which we cannot ignore, and it's probably done the most amount of damage, streaming, right? And this is purely the fault of the big studios. Streaming has conditioned people to sit their asses at home and wait for stuff. Because if I'm being honest, if there's a movie that I am kind of on the fence about and I could save $20 and wait like 2 months, 3 months, and it's on my streaming service for free, quotation bunny ears, why am I going to do that? You know what I'm saying? And people are definitely a lot more hesitant to go and just spend that money on that when they're already paying for that service. Combine that with the TikTok generation and these kids can't sit still in the movie theaters. Of course they're not going to go to the movie theaters. Of course. It's not a tradition that is being passed down 2 generations. Like, like when you were younger or whatever, if you had like a father who was really big into movies and shit like Star Wars and whatever, he would take his kids to go to the movie theaters and the kids would get that appreciation for that. What are kids obsessed with nowadays? Not really the movies. They're obsessed with TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and there's so many forms of entertainment that they don't even have to leave their room to enjoy. They have Minecraft, they have Fortnite, they have Bluey, they have anything you can think of. There's no reason for them to go to movies. For what? Like, okay, there's the occasional movie like a Garfield or there's something that everyone like enjoys, like a Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I played that when I was a kid and now I'm a teenager. Oh my God. But if it's not something that is going to really get people out of the theaters, like a Barbenheimer, like an event film, a big movie, not just necessarily a Marvel movie, but a movie that people just can't ignore, people are going to wait for it to hit streaming. They're going to save a lot more money doing that. They could watch it whenever they want. And yeah, unfortunately, there are going to be a lot of good movies that fall between the cracks. And then those folk are going to question years later, damn, why didn't this movie get a sequel? It's so good. Well, because you guys waited for it to go to streaming instead of actually, you know, doing your due diligence, watching the trailers and going and checking it out. You know what I'm saying? Hindsight's always 20/20, of course. But yeah, it's translated to really weak box office performances this year. This year more than anything, man. Movies that we thought would be big hits haven't been hitting it well. And there have been some good movies too, but there haven't been enough great movies to get people to come out to the theaters. That's why a lot of people are hoping that like Inside Out 2 or Deadpool and Wolverine, like established IP, will get people to come out. And I think those movies will be good. I think that they will do well. But is it going to be enough to sustain everything else? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of big franchise entertainment coming out in the near future. But I don't know if audiences are going to be moving the same way. And when you factor in that a lot of these movies are going to digital, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks after they're in cinemas, of course no one's going to do that. Because, dude, even if I didn't care about streaming, if I knew that a movie like The Fall Guy was going to be on streaming in 3 weeks, and I could pay like $25 to own it and watch it whenever, oh my God, I would feel like I got so much value. I watch it myself, I watch it with my girlfriend, I watch it with my friends, and then boom, that's it. I didn't have to worry about spending like $20 every single time to go to the theaters. And here's the part that really bugs me as someone who loves the movie-going experience. The less general population that comes out to the movie theaters, the less we are going to see those type of different movies that people want to see. Like, people can complain all they want about the big blockbuster movies, like everything is so MCU, or, you know, like, why don't these companies take a risk and new ideas? What a lot of people don't realize is that those movies making astronomical buttloads of money, they fund those smaller passion projects that the studios are willing to take risks on. Or those movies that give directors clout at other studios so they can make those smaller projects. It goes a long way. Now, of course, you're going to have people who can get movies funded whenever, like a Tarantino or a George Miller every decade or so. But we need those big movies to keep the theaters open. And keeping those theaters open means they can play those smaller independent films. So everything, in this case, it does have a trickle-down effect. And if we really say that we care about cinema and want to see good, different movies, the stuff is playing out there. Like everything else in life, we just have to support it when we get the opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that every single one of us, if we bought a ticket, we could have funded Alita Battle Angel 2. I'm not saying that. But if it got to a point where it wasn't just us, but it was a bunch of other people who were able to do that, I mean, it's kind of how Pacific Rim 2 happened. For better or for worse, because that was not a good movie at all. But that's the general gist of it. I mean, we'll just see what happens, man. We'll just see what happens. Flame says, so what you're saying is Xbox ruined the movie industry with Game Pass. It was the first subscription service ever. Yeah, what people don't understand is that the Series S is the downfall of every single box office flop. I'm just being real. But then again, the Series S might save some people from going to see bad movies, you know? Because not every bad movie should make money. I'll just be honest with that, man. Sometimes for those bad movies, they don't need to make money. In fact, the last Fast and Furious movie kind of underperforming might be good for the franchise, because they said they're going back to basics with that next installment. Now, whether or not that is going to be a good thing or not, and how they handle it in terms of quality, because it could just be something at like face value, like, yeah, we're bringing back like street racing, and we're yeah, you know, but it could just be as hollow as all the other Fast and Furious movies. But yeah, man, I mean, we'll see what happens, bro. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm just gonna reply to something, give myself a second to, you know, catch up. Alrighty, but what's going on to all the people who've been joining in between my little soapbox session? How y'all doing? Welcome to the stream. If you're enjoying it, make sure you hit the like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. A-list is my savior. I do surveys for upcoming movie trailers. That gives me free tickets as well for my girl. Oh, that is awesome, Donataka. I didn't know you could do that because I have A-list. I never get any surveys. What? Or unless, are those the things like whenever you like buy a ticket, they send you those things? Is that what that is? Oh God, I need to start doing those because if I can get free tickets to give to other people, like fuck yeah. Reed94 says, man, I don't really fuck with streaming like that anymore. I have solid internet, but the quality still varies too greatly. Yeah, I'm not going front. I still watch streaming. I have it on the daily, but if I have something on physical media, even if I'm streaming it in like 1080p, I'll just pop in my Blu-ray disc, bro, because I don't want no interruptions whatsoever. We have a $1.99 super chat from Echoes93 that came up while I was talking about the movie theater stuff. I just broke up with my girl. I feel free again. Hey, my man. Well, first things first, shout out to you. Okay, I can finally like the super chat comments. I couldn't do that on the last stream. But shout out to you, my guy, or my condolences, depending on who's watching this and feels some type of way about what I said. But shout out to you, my guy. I remember we were talking briefly about this a couple streams back, or it might have been last stream, who knows. But the fact that you feel like happy about that shit, bro. Hey, listen, take this opportunity, this time, to heal from whatever reason, figure out what went wrong on your end, her end, blah, 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 and just keep it pushing, my man. Get back to enjoying life, get back to bettering yourself, get back to elevating yourself. And yeah, just the weight is going to be lifted off your shoulders. I mean, I'm not going front, man. Like when I broke up with when I got the last relationship that I was in, bro, I had this weird moment after like 2 weeks of, I call it the mourning period. I had this weird feeling where I felt like this weight was lifted off my shoulders, bro. It was like this weight that was concentrated like right here on my upper chest. And then after those 2 weeks, I was like, wow, I feel pretty fucking good, dude. And it's a strange feeling because you don't know you're living with that feeling until it's out of your life. And that is crazy because imagine how many people in life have that feeling on them all the time. Imagine people who are like stuck in bad relationships or, just like not even romantic relationships, but relationships in general with people, and they can't fix it. And then once it's removed out of their life, it feels like they can live again. You said that she had too many problems that I couldn't fix for her, to be honest. Hey man, listen, I don't know the extent of the situation, but listen, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do, man. One thing that I've learned is that in this life, you cannot save everybody. And that is one of the harshest lessons that I've learned. Not saying that I was a savior type or I wanted to like fix people or get them out of stuff, but I try my best to, the experiences that I have in life, I try my best to imbue that onto other people if I can, if it helps them in some way, shape, or form. Now, that's not to say that it will, but if I can just like help you and say, hey, listen, I went through some shit too. Here's something you could potentially do, blah, blah, blah. And they overcome it, then that's awesome to me. But what you realize at some point is that people, a lot of the problems in their life, unfortunately, are self-inflicted. It's things that they refuse to take control of. Is Neo Captain Save a Hoe? Absolutely not, Pi Studios. I am not. No. You cannot turn a hoe into a housewife, and you cannot turn a fuckboy into a gentleman. You cannot do that. Oh, what's up, John McKinney? Thank you so much, bro. I will read your super chat in a second. Thank you, bro. But in terms of like relationships and things like that, if you have really good, open, honest communication and you're working towards bettering yourself, both of you, right? Because I'm a firm believer that you both have to better yourself so you can be better for one another. If one person is holding up their end of the bargain and the other one isn't, no matter how much you try to mediate and help, it's one of those situations that where you might have to remove yourself if that situation is not serving you. Like if you keep bettering yourself and you try to help someone better themselves and you do everything right by the books, you meet them where they're at, you ask them what's ailing them, and then they're not putting in that effort to better themselves. It's like, case in point, if someone is very impulsive and they have toxic tendencies from their previous relationships and things like that, and they're still bringing that into a really healthy relationship as a mechanism of action, and they keep doing that, no matter how many times you say that that's not okay, that is just something that is ingrained in them, and you cannot fix that. You can try and say it's not healthy, you need to go to therapy, you can try to do whatever you want, my brother, but that is something that they fundamentally have to fix on their own. And sometimes that comes from being alone, being in therapy, and then also people saying, listen, I'm not tolerating that nonsense. And the unfortunate reality is that sometimes those people end up alone because they have those toxic traits that they think are cute, and it isn't cute whatsoever. So yeah, don't let it beat you down too much, my man. You know, you'll have that period where you question whether or not you did the right decision, but at the end of the day, man, your happiness and your peace is what matters. Not saying you have to be 100% selfish, but if they are causing you pain and they are disrupting that peace, it is not worth the time to commit. Unless you're like Beto Rods, you just love them toxic. There you go. Bryce says we should have an Ask Neo stream where we all ask and talk about our best relationship advice. That might not be a bad idea. Might have to come up with a different channel, like a lifestyle channel. We might have to do that. Nick says, hey Neo, I've been watching since 2007. You're looking great, fam. I appreciated that, Nick. Yo, Nick has been watching me since before I even like properly uploaded YouTube. So back in 2007, I would upload random Naruto, Clash and Ninja Revolution compilation videos, and like me unboxing Yu-Gi-Oh cards and just random stuff that is not here. That was like the original Qmon channel. So holy shit, shout out to you, my brother. But okay, so let's get back to John McKinney's $9.99 super chat. He says, if you were a Jedi Knight in the Star Wars universe, what lightsaber color would you have? I would have green. Ever since I saw Return of the Jedi as a kid on VHS, 1996, One Last Time edition. So if I were a Jedi Knight, what would my lightsaber color be? I'm torn between purple, and I know it's very cliche because yeah, of course the black guy picked the purple one because yeah, it's a dope color, bro. Purple, and then at the same time, I could fuck with a rose pink lightsaber. Give me one of those two, man. Like, if I can't get purple because someone else has it, give me a rose pink lightsaber, man. I dress up like Goku Black and everything. Ooh, that shit would be on point, bro. That shit would be on point. But definitely, I would have like some type of like a purple or a pink lightsaber. What about you guys? I know a lot of people like say orange or like the classic traditional blue or green, and blue is just too basic for me. You know, it's like starfishing. I can't do that. Re94 said, did you talk about X-Men 97? Yes, we talked about it last week. We gushed about it. It was awesome. Can't save everybody. Spoken like a true superhero. Yo, Otaku Underground. That's what it be sounding like, bro. Sometimes people die, and that's it. That's the job. I needed to hear this. Thanks, Neo. Oh, no worries, NT. No worries, my guy. Telling your man he can't have female friends isn't cute. Like, I don't know why so many people think it is. Dude, again, like these toxic traits that people think are okay. You can't have friends of the opposite gender. Like, nigga, how old are you? Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry that you got cheated on, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. And how the fuck you can't have a friend who's a woman, or you can't have a friend who's a guy? If you are that insecure with your partner that they cannot have a conversation with someone of another gender, you have way more important things that you gotta be worrying about in life. Cause that is not okay, bro. You shouldn't even be with someone if you think that like it's dumb, bro. Neo, did you see Civil War yet? I did not. I'm trying to see it before it heads out of theaters. But this week, I think the only movie I'm going to be watching in theaters is the new Haikyuu movie that's playing. And mind you, I've watched maybe 5 episodes of Haikyuu in my life. But my sister, she wants to go see it, and I was like, fuck it, I'll see a Haikyuu movie. I heard it's the end of the series, like it's the cap off for the series. What sense is there for me doing that? But it's an awesome experiment. Because I want to see the enjoyment as someone who's never really watched much of Haikyuu. If it ends on a really strong note, I'm guaranteed to feel emotions. Because if you could end really strong, listen, that's all that matters for me, man. Why do black people like the color purple so much? Well, we got a movie called The Color Purple. It's about trauma, and then we just like purple. Purple's fucking cool, man. Purple Kool-Aid, you know, Mace Windu, you know, just purple. Purple's just a cool fucking color, man. You know, pimps and shit, bro. Like, you know, like, it's just fucking dope. I can see a white lightsaber. That's pretty cool. Neo, I'm 34. I've been watching you since 07 as well, with the Naruto Ninja Storm reviews and manga anime discussions when it was on or would air that Friday. Yo, the OGs. Nah, you know what the crazy thing is, you guys? This is gonna make y'all feel really fucking old. We are sooner closer to the 20-year anniversary of me being on this website versus the 10-year anniversary. Oh God. Oh fucking God. Oh God. Oh sheets. Oh sheets. Kory Gryffindor says, me and my hot Asian friend. Oh, you just had to slip that in there. Like I said, Kory Rizdor, man. Griffin Riz. Me and my hot Asian friend saw If last week, and it was actually pretty wholesome. It better have been wholesome, and I hope it stayed wholesome, Kory. I don't know what you getting up to over there. Yeah, this guy. Oh, what's up, Retro Lad? How you doing? Oh shit, I hope you feel better, bro. I remember watching your Spider-Man Andrew Garfield podcast. Yeah, you know what the funny thing is? YouTube, if you put something as a podcast, it automatically classifies it as a podcast. So I get like all the stats for that, and people still watch it. I was like, what the fuck? This thing was like, we did a podcast before the movie came out talking about, hey, this movie's gonna be great, guys. And I was like, yo. Hey, Poppy Denard, what's up, Don? How you doing, man? No, not Captain America Civil War, the A24 Civil War movie from Alex Garland. Yo, what's up, Dwiz? How you doing? Oh, them Shippuden videos, yes sir. The Kingdom Hearts 3 videos, yes sir. Yo, the fact that your name is Kingdom Hearts Gamer, bro, you were like the first person on the scene with that name. Yo, your first exposure to Game of Thrones was the Red Wedding? Oh, fuck. What was that like? You just wondering, like, why is everybody dying? John McKinney with the $4.99 super chat. Fun fact, Mace Windu was supposed to have a green lightsaber. Samuel L. Jackson just requested to have it purple. Dude, I think I saw a video of Samuel L. Jackson and George Lucas talking about that. I don't know if that was like some type of a fucking like fake shit that someone did, but he was just like, I just want purple. And George Lucas was like, all right, fuck it, you know? But I mean, honestly, yeah, like when you look at Star Wars and shit, like there's some lore significance to a lot of it, but it just got to a point where sometimes you're just like, yeah, fuck it, bro. Like, you know, in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, you can just pick whatever lightsaber color you want with the kyber crystals and everything. Oh, man. Yeah, just give me a fucking purple lightsaber, man. Why not? Are you excited for The Boys Season 4? Yeah, I'm very much so looking forward to it. The Boys has just been a very consistent TV show, and I really hope that it's one of the shows that like they end it while it's still really good. Like if we can get 2 more good seasons of stories and then they're like, that's it, that's the end of The Boys, I will be so happy, because I would much rather it end off on a very high note like Breaking Bad did versus it just get drawn out for like 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons and then it's like, you know, because they're gonna be doing spin-offs and shit and everything. Did you talk about the Knuckles show? The bait and switch show? Xenoverse Bros are up right now. Why are Xenoverse Bros up? Is that because... Why? Was it like the next gen update is out or something? Bro, if there are 3 constants in life, death, taxes, and Xenoverse outliving every single live service game you could think of. Death, taxes, and Xenoverse. That is just life, bro. There are no other games except Xenoverse. But I gotta give them credit, man. I gotta give them credit for that shit. They support... Where's Gustavo Bravo? That man has like 4,000 hours in Xenoverse. They really support the shit out of that game. Did you talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's upcoming A24 movie where he'll finally become Dwayne the actor Johnson? No, we didn't. But for those who don't know, I don't know why people think I have this reputation of hating The Rock. I don't hate The Rock, man. I just think that The Rock's fucking ego is insane and it's costing him shit. But The Rock, after the spectacular bombing that was Black Adam, he decided to like put himself back out there and doing actual movies where he's not just The Rock acting as The Rock. So he's starring in an A24 movie from one of the directors of Uncut Gems, and he just looks unrecognizable. Like the only thing you can really notice is like certain features of him, but he's got hair on there. He's got like some type of like prosthetics or something. But it might be a movie where The Rock actually has to try. And I remember a time where The Rock actually had to try as an actor. And the last time I saw that was with Pain and Gain. And that was like, what, 2013, 10 years ago? You know? Everything else since then has been like The Rock on autopilot. But yeah, man, it's... I'm hoping it's something good, bro. I just don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, next month is fucking insane for TV shows. Acolyte, The Bear, The Boys, and House of Dragon. Dude, it's like, it's Christmas. We have a different show. We're gonna have multiple episodes every week. Yes, bro. Like, I love this. Time to be alive. So basically, The Rock wants to be like Childish Gambino when Gambino started using his real name, Donald Glover. Yeah, but the thing about Childish Gambino is that was just like his creative name. When he started doing, when he switched from, he was always Donald Glover though. Whenever he did like acting stuff, it was always Donald Glover. Childish Gambino was just his rap name. Yes, you do need to watch The Boys. The Boys is very good. Yeah, he was in a couple things. He was in Community. He did stand-up specials, and you know, he did his rap thing for a little while. And then yeah, and then he transitioned more from like the creative side of things. He started creating shows. He did Atlanta. He was working on a Deadpool animated series, which I just, oh man, that I wish that thing came out. And then yeah, he transitioned back into acting with like Amazon stuff. Like him and Rihanna, I think, were in a movie. And then there was Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is a really solid show, that first season. Oh God, No Country for Old Men. That's a good one right there. Hey, what's up, Valkyne? How you doing, bro? I saw him working at a drive-thru at Taco Bell. Who? Donald Glover? Hey, Maddie put in the gains. I love that shit. Oh, okay. So you were working the drive-thru. You served him food. Okay, gotcha. I thought it was like, you know, sometimes they have those like prank things where celebrities work at like Walmart or McDonald's or whatever, and then you drive up, you're like, oh shit, you know? Oh, that's sick, bro. Hey, there you go. Did you watch the Disney Plus Percy Jackson reboot? I have not. It's again, it's on the many list of things I need to check out, but I heard it's good. I heard it is solid. That would have been hilarious, bro. You just pull up in this freaking. How would y'all feel if y'all just like going through the drive-thru of something and then you just see like the most random fucking celebrity there? I'd be like, what the fuck? I would geek the fuck out, bro. What the hell? What's up, PS Tutorials? John McKinney with a $9.99 super chat. I appreciate you, my brother. For the new Superman reboot, no General Zod. I understand using Lex Luthor. Luthor is Superman's archenemy, and you need to use him at some point. But General Zod, hell no. No more Zod. Yes, I agree with you on that, bro. And that is something that James Gunn is going to be doing things a little differently with the DCEU. So he's not really going to be focusing, at least from what it seems, too much on like the most overplayed stuff. And I mean, the thing about Superman is that, like, I mean, first off, we haven't had a Superman movie in 10 years. Over 10 years at this point. And even then, in the last one we had, it was General Zod. And then before that, yeah, it was Lex Luthor. But really, the only supervillain that a lot of people really recognize from the Superman movies was General Zod. Like, yeah, Lex Luthor was there, but not as the modern incarnation we know him. That was just Gene Hackman doing Gene Hackman shit. But again, it was in the 70s, so it's like, you know. But if we're talking about like modern interpretations, people know General Zod. But the thing about Zod is that, like, yeah, Zod is cool, but Lex Luthor is his arch enemy. Lex Luthor is that dude. It'd be like if you're doing a Spider-Man film series and you never once touch on Green Goblin. Green Goblin is his arch enemy. Like, Peter could have enemies. He could have Vulture. He could have Rhino. He could have Sandman. He could have, you know, even like general, like Marvel enemies like Kingpin, but Green Goblin is his adversary. Like Batman, Joker is his adversary. But at least with Batman, the villains are definitely a lot more fleshed out. So, hypothetically speaking, you could have a Batman film trilogy with no Joker. In fact, even though Matt Reeves did say they're doing Joker at some point, like can we get like Mr. Freeze and some other shit? But regardless of that, I'm excited for the Superman movie, bro. I am so hyped for the Superman movie, like ridiculously, stupidly excited. And the more I hear about it, the more pumped I get. And I mean, like, dude, the fact that we're getting a Superman movie, they're halfway through filming that. Like, dude, do you know how many years we were all wondering, like, when is Man of Steel 2 happening? When is Man of Steel 2 happening? You know, like, we went from, like, Batman v Superman originally being Man of Steel 2, and then they morphed it into that. And then after that, there was the whole drama. Would Snyder come back? We don't know. And then with the regime changes, like 4 different regime changes, it's just happy that we actually have people at the helm who know what they're doing, and they're getting stuff done. We're getting a Superman movie. We're getting a Supergirl movie. We're getting a Green Lantern TV show. Like, bro, we're getting all the shit. We're making up for lost time here. And I love it, bro. And Gunn is not rushing this shit. He's assigning talent to it. They're only moving forward if they're at that stage. Dude, I'm geeked for our bro. So the thing about, let's talk about the Superman movie for a second. So if I had to guess about the Superman movie, like everything is very much so under wraps, which I love. You know, nothing is really leaking out of the stuff of Superman as opposed to like something like a Marvel project. But one thing that I'm really interested with this Superman movie is I have a feeling that this Superman movie, the reason why it was titled Superman Legacy, and now it's just called Superman, I feel like this movie is going to be sort of meta in the sense that it's going to challenge the audience perceptions of who the character of Superman is. Now, I'm sure you guys have noticed this, especially over like the past 15 years. There's been this like weird, I don't want to say hatred, but like dissing of Superman. Superman is boring. Superman is corny. He's just so good. You know, there's no flaws to him. He's so powerful. You know, he's not an interesting character. He's not relatable, you know? You hear that a lot. And if you read Superman comics, it's kind of like, I don't know where you guys are getting this from, but remember, most people don't actually consume the media. They just speak. But the thing about Superman is that I can't fault people for thinking that, because a lot of the media that we had gotten from Superman in the latter part of the 2000s has been stuff that people are just like, what they think Superman would be interesting as. Evil Superman. Like, Injustice. That Injustice storyline did a reputable fucking damage to the character, bro. Evil Superman is the only way we can tell an interesting Superman story. That's what the mantra has been. Evil Superman. We're going to do this evil Superman here. We're going to do evil Superman there. And then fucking BVS. Evil Superman. Like, Superman is this threat and everything. Yet we never got to the core of the Superman character. The core of the Superman character is that this man inspires hope and optimism. And what I think James Gunn is going to tell with this story is it is going to be a meta commentary in the sense of the movie. It's going to be about Superman and how people are kind of questioning, why does the world need a Superman? Like, what does he get from this? I have a feeling that with all the supplemental characters they've been casting, there are already going to be super characters in here. Maybe not the ones that we're familiar with, but like they are going to exist there. And then a lot of people are going to be questioning, like, who's the Superman guy? Why is he coming in here? Why do we really need that hope and optimism? And by the end of the movie, Superman, and what James Gunn is going to do, he's going to honor both Superman's Kryptonian heritage and what that means, while also honoring his human heritage growing up in Smallville and what that means, both sides of that. And then by the end of it, it's going to be a look into hope and optimism and why we need that and why it isn't outdated. So basically, the basis of every single Superman, good Superman story, I feel like that's what Gunn is going to do. I have this big suspicion. Gunn always loves writing underdog stories. Guardians of the Galaxy, The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker. He's going to take the biggest risk by writing Superman, the jewel. Well, Batman is the freaking jewel. But, you know, Superman, the jewel of DC, he's going to make him into an underdog story. And people aren't going to expect it. Then they're going to watch it. And then they're going to fucking see, bro. I'm telling you on this, bro. I have not been this excited for a Superman movie since The Batman, bro. And James Gunn he hasn't missed in my book, man. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited. $5 super chat coming in from Julian Phoenix. Do you have any bear predictions? I think cousin is gonna die. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't leave Carmi out of this. Don't say that. But you know what? I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe not this season, but at some point. Because you can see that Carmi is kind of unstable. I mean, he's trying to find some balance and understanding, but he's very fucking stressed, bro. Very stressed. But I can't wait for that shit, bro. Woo! Hold on 1 second. All right. So, anyways, let's see. So the homie Bobby says you're gonna be picking up Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Man, if I'm done with some RPGs, I'll probably get it. But the way it's looking right now, I'm gonna hold off a little bit. But you know, it's all good because Flame's gonna buy like 6 of those copies, so he's gonna hold it down. He's gonna hold it down. Jahid says, how do you yourself approach reading comics? Every time I want to get back into it, I'm intimidated about starting. It's like when you start reading, it's always a hint to something else in another comic. Yeah, so that's kind of the unfortunate reality of when you're reading mainstream comics from Marvel and DC. There are those particular situations where they reference shit that happened in other stuff, and you might be confused. I gotta say, it does depend on what you're reading. And whether it comes out like directly after an event or it's happening during an event, it is kind of frustrating. But what I do is that I get attached to particular writers more than anything. So if I'm reading something from Tom King, or if I'm reading something from Chip Zdarsky, if I'm reading something from Jonathan Hickman, I tend to follow them. And when I see that they get announced to work on certain storylines, that's where I get intrigued, and I'd usually do a little bit of like due diligence to catch me up. And I gotta say, following a lot of like the comic YouTubers who do like those recaps and everything, that definitely does help. But yeah, reading comics can be daunting. But it's all about, you know, like I said, if there are really good stories out there, you can sift through all the BS. And then sometimes you just have situations where the stories aren't as connected compared to other things, like the Ultimate Spider-Man run from Jonathan Hickman. Like, that is awesome. You really don't need, all you need is just like a general understanding of Spider-Man and to know the premise, and that story works so friggin' well. And there's a lot of stories that are like that. So yeah, you know, just look around, see if you find something interesting, and then go from there. Did you see that a Dragon Ball leaker got arrested by the Japanese police? No, I didn't. I did not. I saw Brightburn. I saw that. 999 super chat coming from the homie John McKinney. Thank you, bro. People who think Superman's a boring character need to watch the 90s cartoon and the early 2000s Just League cartoon. He's very interesting, relatable, close to being DC Spider-Man. Well, I would say the closest thing we have to like DC Spider-Man, I think you mean in terms of, I know what you're saying, in terms of like the relatability side of it. I get that. I really wouldn't classify Superman and Spider-Man as like similar in that respect. I know what you're saying though. But again, John McKinney, goes back to what I was saying before. Look how long ago that media was. 1990s, mid-90s, early 2000s. That was like, by the time Man of Steel came out, that was like 13 years removed. And the general public has not absorbed any type of understanding of the Superman character other than, like I said, the injustice, the evil Superman, you know, the years of the DCEU where this man barely smiled. That's been the viewpoint. And the worst part about the whole situation with Man of Steel is, listen, I'm a Man of Steel defender. I defend that movie. I was one of the few people when that movie came out that was defending it. I said, listen, the movie's not perfect. It's got its problems. But if it's a foundation setup piece, I think we can go to a brighter tomorrow. And then Batman vs. Superman happened. And then I'm just like, all right, fuck this shit. I'm out, you know? But one piece of Superman media that I really implore you guys to check out if you want a nice understanding of Superman in a digestible form. You don't need to like read a lot of comics, even though I do recommend reading Superman comics, but one thing you just drop in and easily, and it's topical because it's current, My Adventures of Superman. It's currently airing on Toonami. You can watch it on the Max app. That right there is the closest depiction we can get to a modern understanding of Superman in like mainstream cultural fashion. That show right there is so good with how it handles Clark, how it handles Superman, how it's approaching his identity struggle, like him, you know, his whole life thinking he was this, but he's actually that. And it's really good. It's like very slow in the sense that it's not like, okay, at the end of the first season, yeah, I'm like Superman, I don't worry about my problems. It's like, nah, nigga, your problems are gonna continue. And it's fantastic. And the relationship dynamic between Clark and Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, especially Clark and Lois, is so fucking good, man. Smallville, like I said, Smallville was cool and everything, but that was just more like CW melodrama stuff. Like there was some good stuff to Smallville, don't get it twisted. It was CW before CW. But if you're talking about Superman type shit, I would recommend Superman and Lois. That's on the CW, right? Well, it's not on the, is it still on it or is it just on Max? I don't know. But you know, the one with Tyler Hoechlin, who voices Sephiroth. That one I would recommend because it definitely does handle like his identity struggles and things like that. But remember, it's like an hour long TV show and everything, and some people are like, "Ooh, I don't want to invest all that time." But My Adventures with Superman is great. Superman and Lois is cool. Smallville, it's like, again, CW type shit. So just know what you're going into. The Lex Luthor on that show, Michael Rosenbaum, fantastic. He was the MVP of everybody in that show, bro. And also Smallville's a really long show, so I don't know if I'd want to like recommend someone invest all that time for just like the handful of good nuggets that are there. Shout out to the homie GC Plugs for the $4.99 super chat where he missed the text. But don't worry, my man. We'll never miss you. We'll never miss you. Nah, you gotta watch Guardians 3, Mac. I know a lot of people didn't like Guardians 2. I really liked it. But Guardians 3 is fucking great. Dude, it's always a good time to watch the Justice League animated series. Both of them, guys. Fantastic. Like that Batman the animated series, you just have like a whole binge of all that stuff, bro. Good stuff. Like I can understand like Guardians 2 I felt had the most, it had the biggest the biggest imbalance of humor to the stuff that you wanted to see. Like the emotional beats in Guardians 2 were really good, like Nebula and Gamora, and then the stuff with like Rocket and Yondu, and then Yondu and Peter and everything. That stuff is great, but then there's just too much of the jokey stuff in between. Even by James Gunn standards, it was a lot. But it's still good. The third movie, oh my god, the third movie. By the time you get to that third movie and then everything wraps itself up, bro, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful, man. Are you crazy for wanting a Nightwing movie? No, I don't think you're crazy. I like Nightwing a lot. But I just want a proper, like, Bat universe. I don't just want a Nightwing movie. You know, I want, you know, if they actually knew what they were doing, what we would have gotten is we would have gotten a Batman trilogy in the DCEU with, like, Ben Affleck and, like, a Robin. Like, we would have got, like, I had this whole pitch when I was doing how I would do the DCEU, right? So I had this pitch. So you start out with Man of Steel. You do Man of Steel. You do a solo Batman movie, right? And it's just a Batman movie doing stuff. And then at the end of the movie, you can maybe tease that he's adopting a Robin. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you can work that in. I don't know. But you have a Man of Steel movie. You have a Batman movie. You have a Wonder Woman. That's the prequel movie. So you can basically do the Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman movie and just not change anything. Except like at the end, you just like have her in modern day and all that. You have those three. You have the Trinity. And then you do a Justice League movie. And then from there, you can introduce Flash. You can introduce Cyborg. And then I would just have it be 5. I would just do like 5 Justice League members for like the first movie. You know, Flash and Cyborg. Have those two show up. And it's just the 5 of them. All right. Then after that, you got your like core 5 movies for the first phase. Second phase, obviously, is Man of Steel 2. Second phase is Batman 2. And then from there, I kind of stopped caring about the other ones. Like, I could map out the other characters. But, like, for me, it was, like, Superman and Batman, focusing on that. In that Batman movie, you have Batman and Robin growing and learning and blah, blah, blah. And then you get to the point where you work your way into, like, a Justice League 2. And in that movie, you work towards getting to a point where you start seeing the different sides of this Robin, this Jason Todd. I started with Jason Todd instead of Dick Grayson. So you did Jason Todd, and then you get to that point where by the second movie, Jason Todd is, you know, starting to like, oh, you know, like what's happening here in the second Justice League movie, right? So by that point, you already have like 1, 2, 3 appearances with him. And then in the next Batman movie or the next team-up movie, whatever, it could be like a Batman Superman World's Finest movie or what have you, Jason Todd dies. Oh my god, it's so sad, it's terrible. And then some time passes, and then you do another Batman movie, and then boom, it's Under the Red Hood, man. Like, I don't exactly know the structure of everything, but I would at least have like 4 different appearances of Jason Todd before you kill him, and then he comes back as Red Hood after some time, and it's like, what the fuck, bro? Dude, I'm telling you, we could, bro, Under the Red Hood, watch that fucking movie and what they did in that screen time with that hour-long movie or so. Man, it just, dude, it's so good. Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy game was underrated. I will say that the gameplay was slightly repetitive in terms of everything, but I think it's one of the things that when you got to a sequel, they could have expanded upon it. A little less spongy, but the story in it was great because, you know, it's Eidos. And the humor was good. And development for some of the characters like Drax that we got, man, Drax in the games is so much better than Drax in the movies. Like, the Drax in the games, they actually delved into his past and his relationship with his family. Whereas in the movies, they only briefly touched on it, which I still think that was the biggest misfire. They didn't really do too much with Drax in those movies. Oh, your Guardians ranking is 2, 1, and then 3? Ooh, that's spicy. That's spicy. Nah, the Batman is straight cinema. I love that shit, bro. Yeah. Under the Red Hood, if you guys have not seen that movie, it is fire. All right. So I just realized, you guys, we went a whole hour or so into the stream without even getting into the topic. Hold on 1 second. I just got people texting me. 1 second, you guys, as you were. One second. Okay. So, all right, you guys. Let's get into the topic for tonight's discussion, guys. I mean, it's like Flame said, every now and then we do got to get into our journalistic duties for the night. John McKinney with the 99 super chat. We're actually going to touch on this first, and then we're going to go into the topic because the homie John McKinney is making it rain in the club tonight. Appreciate you, my brother. As many times as we've seen Lex Luthor, why haven't they put him in his battle armor suit? It really annoyed me. If and when they bring him back, like, please put him in the suit. It's like getting the fucking robot, Shinji. I'll tell you the reason why they have not put him in the suit. Because there haven't been enough Superman movies out for them to actually get to the point where they can do a Lex Luthor properly and then put him in the suit. But honestly, I feel like we might see that with Gunn. I don't think that we're going to be seeing Lex Luthor in the battle armor suit in this movie, but I definitely could see it down the road, maybe in a second movie, maybe in a Justice League movie, because, you know, Lex Luthor, that nigga just be conniving in the background doing shit, bro. And why is my camera not focusing? Hold on. Stand by, good friends. I don't know why it's doing this. 1 second. I don't know why. Every single time, it just always does the freaking autofocus. There we go. Okay, we're back to normal. Yeah, no, dude, it's because it's gotten to a point where it's just like they don't spend enough time with these characters. Because you gotta look at it like this. Last Superman movie we got was like what, the 80s, 90s, and then there was that gap. Then we got Superman Returns, and then after that we had to wait for Man of Steel, and then we got nothing. So I feel like we might see it now. Give it time. Give it time. But appreciate you, my guy John McKinney. All right, you guys. So as I was saying before, it is time for us to get to our serious journalistic duties for the evening. You guys saw the title, you guys saw the thumbnail, but before we get into that, if y'all could do me a favor, hit that like button, helps out the channel tremendously. We got a bunch of people who've joined in between. We got TWO96, we got Ghostwriter in the chat. What's going on, gentlemen? And yeah, so we're going to talk about tonight's main event, ladies and gentlemen. As I stay hydrated, because that's what we need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, what the fuck? People just be blowing up my phone on a Tuesday night. It's just everyone's just like text Neo hour. Okay, so let's get into the topic for tonight's video, you guys. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 launching day and date on Xbox Microsoft Game Pass. For how much longer it's going to be Xbox Game Pass, I do not know. Hence why I threw in the Microsoft in there. So, Microsoft has officially committed. They've dispelled all the rumors and speculations. They are indeed going to be launching the next Call of Duty directly into Xbox Game Pass. Now, for those of you guys who are watching, you're probably asking yourselves, well, nigga, they spent $70 billion on this company. Why the fuck wouldn't they put that into Game Pass? It would make no sense. Well, to be honest, a lot of people are speculating with all the kerfuffle and the discourse surrounding Xbox, their games going multi-platform, Xbox closing all these studios. Would it make financial feasible sense for them to take their biggest moneymaker, at least when it comes to mainstream console video games, that being Duty Calls, and putting that into a subscription service where all a person has to do is really pay $17 a month, and then they can play the entire game for free? When you factor in that Call of Duty is the biggest selling game every year, sometimes last year, the previous Call of Duty game sells even into the next year. So a 2022 Call of Duty game would show up in a 2024 best of list. Call of Duty is a juggernaut. It is a moneymaker. It is one of the few games that are surviving the $70 price increase. You know, it's one of those games that just people will show up and they will buy no matter the quality of it. Even the worst performing Call of Duty games in terms of like how good they are quality wise, Modern Warfare 3 comes to mind, it's still charting. Why? Because it's a part of the culture and people are ingrained that they have to buy the new Call of Duty, even though there's stuff like Warzone that's out there and there's other alternatives. So Call of Duty is a moneymaker. Hand over fist, day one purchases, moneymaker, microtransactions and all that stuff, battle passes, moneymaker. All the people spend money on Call of Duty. So a lot of people were saying, if Xbox is smart, they're not going to lose that cash cow. That's going to bring them a buttload of money. And Game Pass, while we all love it, it's not been doing that great for the company. It had a really good uptick at the beginning of the generation, but considering they didn't launch a lot of high-profile games on the Xbox Series consoles, people weren't buying systems. And since people weren't buying systems, nobody is subscribing to Game Pass. PC gamers aren't subscribing to Game Pass. Cloud gaming is not to a point where people are going to pay a subscription service to subscribe just to do that. So Game Pass wasn't growing. Now you have the biggest game of all time, launching day and date. This is bigger than all the other stuff they put into Game Pass. This is bigger than a Persona 3 Reload. This is bigger than an Outriders. This is even bigger, guys. This is even bigger than when they launched Paw Patrol into Game Pass. I know it's hard to compare the two, considering Paw Patrol is just such a juggernaut in its own right. We got people in the community like the homie KiddStupefy hyping it up and getting 1,000 gamer score. But it's a different beast entirely when you're launching Call of Duty into the service, man. $70 moneymaker, plus all the add-ons for $17 a month. Now we got our answer. They're just like, fuck it, we're putting it in the service. Now, as it stands right now, Xbox has they have not announced As of now, from now until when the game comes out, we don't know. Things are tentative to change with the upcoming showcase. But we don't know if there's going to be a new tier for Game Pass. Like, a lot of people are questioning, well, if they're launching the most premium game of all time into Game Pass, that means a price increase is coming. And whatever a lot of people think about Game Pass and everything, the price is going to go up at some point. Everything has gotten more expensive. Every service has gotten more expensive. And Game Pass at $17 a month is a fucking steal for the consumers. Now, I'm not advocating for a price increase. I just know the way the tides are turning. And I just, like, Netflix every other month increases the prices. For what? We're not getting better quality shit out of that stuff. Every now and then we get a great show, and then 2 seasons later, canceled. HBO Max is increasing the price, and they're locking the 4K versions behind that shit. Like, if these movie company streaming services are already at the point where $20 is not enough, $25 is the next increase, and then $30, we know this shit is going to happen with gaming, right? We know it's going to happen with gaming, but we just don't know when. At some point, I wouldn't be surprised if Game Pass ends up at like $25 a month, maybe $30 a month. Then from there, you can get to the conversation on whether or not something like that is worth it versus buying the game day one. But to launch Call of Duty on Game Pass this fall, I think we're finally going to get our answer on whether or not this Game Pass thing can work. Is this going to be the game that gets people to subscribe en masse to this service? Now, in terms of the performance, Call of Duty is still going to do really well because, like I said, PC players are going to play it on their platform. PlayStation players, they're the lead platform, so of course they're going to play it on there. Xbox, they still make a shit ton of money off Call of Duty on there. But are people going to sub to the service for the game? I don't know how this is going to work out because Call of Duty makes a shit ton of money, yes, on day one purchases, but then also all the other stuff that people spend in game. So would it be a case of they subsidize the $70 price of the game just to get people invested and spend even more money? I don't know if Game Pass is going to have like crazy incentives to get people to play and sub for Call of Duty, other than the fact that, hey, it's a $70 game. You're getting it for free, right? And their hands are tied. They can't really do anything to incentivize people play it on Xbox other than that, because, you know, there's the whole stuff that happened with the FTC and they have to be parity across the board and everything. But this is still a monumental decision, man. It's a monumental decision for them to go ahead and do that. Obviously they're going to be focusing on the revenue that they're going to get from those in-game transactions and that constant revenue, because those Call of Duty players, they spend money. But it's just crazy because we always talked about, like, yo, would they ever launch a game that big onto Game Pass? And the biggest games we would always think would have to come from Xbox first party. It would have to come from those studios. Like, technically speaking, what's been the biggest game to launch the Game Pass, you guys think? It's got to be Starfield. It has to be Starfield. Starfield is the biggest game that they ever launched. And did that move the needle? No, they did not move the needle at all. And we saw that. But then again, Starfield is not... Yes, Bethesda games sell to their audiences, but Starfield was not that Bethesda game. If it was something like a Skyrim, like let's say, for example, Skyrim and Starfield had switched places, hypothetically. Would Skyrim have gotten people to subscribe? I think probably, but Starfield didn't. Call of Duty has wider appeal across the board, pick up and play. If anything, I think it's going to be interesting to see the Game Pass upgrades, because they said that this Call of Duty is available to all Game Pass members. Now remember, Game Pass has different tiers. There's Game Pass Core and there's Game Pass Ultimate. You can play this Call of Duty game in Game Pass Core, but the bulk of why you play Call of Duty is online. So unless you just want to pay the campaign, you know, yeah, you can play it on Game Pass, but if you want to do zombies or you want to do multiplayer, you're going to have to subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate. Which for some people, they'll see that, oh, it's only $17 a month and I get everything else. That's great. So the thing about Game Pass, the only way Game Pass can honestly really work for Microsoft is if they have a heavy hitter title come out every couple of months, a big game, and then it gets people to subscribe, and then they see all the other stuff that's on there that's actually good. That is the biggest problem that Game Pass has faced over the past 2 years. There's just not enough big games to get people, new people, to subscribe at the rate that they want. And then if they were to ever subscribe randomly, let's say they got a free trial, they'll look at the games, they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, there's some there's some cool stuff to play, but enough to have another subscription service every single month? Probably not. They'll probably be like, okay, I see they have these random games here that I can get for $5 on sale every other week. I'll just do that instead and I'll own the game forever. A lot of people think like that. Now, this year in particular, I think Game Pass had its, in my opinion, one of its best value proposition games, that being Persona 3 Reload. But again, Persona 3 only appeals to a niche amount of people. It's amazing if you're an RPG fan. It's like, what the fuck? Like, could you imagine if they launched Persona 3 Reload and then launched like Shin Megami 5 Vengeance, and then they launched like, let's say, Metaphor, hypothetically speaking, if you were an RPG fan and they launched those games into the service, you're like, what the fuck? And then they also have, like, let's say hypothetically, you know, you like the RPG series, and then it's like, boom, you have all these other smaller RPGs that are there. Like if Xbox had more RPGs, boom, you have all the Final Fantasy titles if you want to play it, or what have you, shit that interests people. But the thing is, gaming is very different when it comes to like movies and TV shows. Gaming is one of those things that I noticed where, unless you're into a live service thing, you could spend a little bit of money and go so far with your enjoyment and your entertainment. Like there's people I know who they spend $70 on a game and they get hundreds of hours out of it. There's really no form of entertainment that you could spend such a little amount of money relative to the hours that you're getting and you get that enjoyment. Movies, man, even if you're seeing something like a Oppenheimer or Dune Part 2 and you're paying $25 for a Dolby Cinema ticket or an IMAX ticket, or you buy the 4K Blu-ray for $30, you're only going to get a certain amount of enjoyment out of it. You're going to watch the movie, maybe you watch it once a week, sure, you get enjoyment. But when you pay $70 for a game, double that, and you get like 500 hours into Assassin's Creed Valhalla, or like 200 hours out of multiple playthroughs of an RPG, there's people who can pay that money and just not have to worry about buying anything else. There's people I know who have game consoles that they buy maybe like 3-4 games a year, and they're good because those 3-4 games a year they put hundreds of hours into. And I can't blame them. Like this year in particular, you guys, I've bought in games that were on sale, but the amount of games that I bought day one, very, very few. Because they're all long-ass RPGs, and I just don't have the time to play them like I used to, so they last me a lot longer. Like, I bought Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is, again, a great value proposition. Even though I have problems with it, it's a great value proposition, where people were into it. And then that, with the Persona 3 Reload, which I got on Game Pass. My friend bought Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, so I'm game sharing that. And then there's Dragon's Dogma 2. And then there's Unicorn Overlord, and there's like all these other games in between. Like hypothetically speaking, like you can wait to do stuff. So it's going to be fascinating to see what this does for Microsoft in terms of what they can get out of it with subscription numbers. This is going to be the test. And I really hope this new Call of Duty game is good. I really do, you guys, because I have not bought a new Call of Duty game since Black Ops 3. I played Black Ops Cold War because I got that gifted for me by a friend for Christmas, but I have not bought a Call of Duty game in almost 10 years. So this is going to be fascinating. The fact that it's on Game Pass, I'm excited because from what I've been hearing, rumors, if they are to be believed, the Call of Duty Zombies mode is going to be round-based, a return to form, which is music to my ears, because that was one of the reasons why I didn't really play too much of the newer Call of Duty games, just because, you know, I'm a stickler for classic zombies, man. Classic zombies is what it's all about for me. I love that stuff. I was born with it, raised on it, and by the time I did that, I was still a man. Hold on one second, you guys. But yeah, dude. Either way, this is a big move. It's a monumental move. And remember, at the end of the day, I'm just worried about me, myself, and I. You know what I'm saying? I let Microsoft worry about the logistics of all this other shit and whether or not it'll properly work. Because, yeah, we can sit here and be the financial analyst all we want. But at the end of the day, if they're giving me that Call of Duty experience for free 99, it's game, bro. It's game, man. It's game. Sure, you might get like some people who sub for like a couple of months, then they unsub, and then they come back later. But either way, if they can just boost those subscribers up consistently, sure, you're gonna lose subscribers along the way. Every service does. But if it gets to a point where it's viable enough, man, you got Call of Duty on the service, and then hopefully with all the other games they got coming out, man, we'll see what happens. It's now more than ever, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle stuff because they have the entire backlog, they have the catalog, and they could do this stuff. But what they need to do is put Black Ops 2 in Game Pass just to prep us for this new game, bro. Put Black Ops 2 in there, put all the DLC out there. I'm ready for that shit, bro. I want to replay it, man. And what's up, John the Don? What's up, Fun Speculation? How you doing, Mav? Listen. Transit was a part of history. Yes, it was not the best zombies map to play, but it was fun. It was different. It was annoying. Yes, I know, but it was. Listen, sometimes we need them to take risks, bro. Like, come on now, you telling me that you and the boys get together and it's just like, stop the fucking bus? I can't stop the bus, bro. Man, listen. Nah, but Paragon, I need the Call of Duty games now. I need them to drop, like, when they do that showcase, I need them to drop that shit now. I need it. Just give me Black Ops 2. Bro, they could pull up to that Xbox game showcase. They're like, yo, Avowed release date. Starfield DLC release date. Indiana Jones release date. Black Ops 6 and Game Pass release date. And then I'll just be like, listen, but where's Black Ops 2? With all the DLC during date? Listen. Bro. For me, I'm very biased. I'm very nostalgic. I love World at War Zombies. I love that shit to death. I played it the most compared to all the other games. For me, you know, the map I played, Doris. That shit right there. Quality. Doris was great. I had a lot of fun on Shinonuma, going through the swamp. And you really had to be there during the zombies experience. Finding all the Easter eggs and the songs and then the lore, the fucking lore, bro. And then when you went to Black Ops 1 Zombies, you know, like some of the maps weren't that great, but it was different. They added in new stuff. And then Black Ops 2 came into the mix. And then, you know, Black Ops 3, some of the maps weren't that great, but then they brought back some of the older maps and put it in the new engine. Oh, man, it just... I'm ready for that shit, bro. Bring Black Ops 2 backwards compatibility, and we are living. My hottest take, Black Ops 2 Zombies was straight ass. Uh-oh. Jason is stirring the pot. He's poking the bear. Nah, Black Ops 4 Zombie. I remember I played that shit on a free weekend. I think it was me, you, and Alex. We played that. Man, I might have to... Don't tempt me. Black Ops 3 also had custom zombies on PC. I didn't play it on PC. I played it on PlayStation. You said custom zombies? Play some modded maps. The multiplayer game I played the most on PC was Left 4 Dead 2, man. The amount of mods we played on that shit with the Helm's Deep Reborn. Oh, man. We played the fucking Lord of the Rings in Left 4 Dead 2, bro. John the Don with the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate you, my brother. He says, I need World at War and Black Ops 1 on Game Pass, and Activision still needs to use the war chest of IPs they have to bolster Game Pass. Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I know the Activision, like, integrating it into the Microsoft family is going to take a while, but bro, come on now. What are we fucking doing here, dude? Like, come on. Honestly, that showcase better be heat. It better be fire, and they better be like, listen, everything is coming out today or next week or next month. We need this shit. The brand needs energy, bro. We need energy. We need excitement. It needs to be exciting to be an Xbox fan. Like hopes and prayers, all that shit. We gonna leave that for the funeral. We need some hope and optimism up in this bitch. We need a Superman at Xbox, bro. I'm finna dip. I'm gonna watch the replay, but I'm gonna study some more for this IT certification. Hey, shout out to you, Jahid. Get those reading gains on, my man. Yeah, dude, we need excitement because Xbox just seems like it's a wounded animal right now. It's like a wounded gazelle and it's just limping, even though this is like the biggest company with their acquisitions. And they're just over there like, oh, woe is me. Woe is me. It seems so anemic. Julian Phoenix, who's been a member of the past 12 months of the Phantom Weirdo tier. I appreciate you, my brother. He says, would you play a Call of Duty game set in the Revolutionary War? Imagine the musket gunplay. I want this so bad. Dude, I don't know why Call of Duty is not going back to like older wars. I get it, like some of the guns aren't the most enticing to the low attention span generation. But bro, you can do some fun shit back there, bro. You could do a lot of stuff, but everything now is just so like modern or near future or fully future. I don't know, man. We need to bring it back. But then people will complain. I'm just like, No, it is definitely Xbox's fault, Hollow Man. Yeah, they should have paced themselves with stuff. And again, Xbox's management of their portfolio is not the greatest compared to like PlayStation or Nintendo. What's up, J-Mac? Are you going to pick up Paper Mario? Yes, I am going to pick up Paper Mario. That's the thing about Nintendo games. Unless they're like, what you assume are going to be, like low print runs, you can just buy them whenever because they're always the same fucking price. But yeah, I'm gonna get that. COD goes medieval. Listen, let's run it back. Chivalry crossover. Let's get it. 199 super chat from Zack Rodriguez. Is it safe to invest in the Xbox library for physical media? Honestly, it depends how big of a collector you are. I probably wouldn't, and that's just because Xbox does not get the vast majority of games that would probably interest you, Zach. Like, it gets a lot of the mainstream stuff. Like, yeah, you can get a Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, or you can get you can get an Assassin's Creed. But for like a lot of those like smaller niche Japanese titles that we always talk about, they more often than not skip the Xbox brand, or they just don't get physical releases. Like PlayStation and Nintendo are the consoles that get those releases, which is why you see a lot of people collect more for those systems by comparison to the Xbox. And when you have Xbox nowadays, I don't know, it's not really exciting collecting for Xbox. It really isn't, bro. Because I mean, everything they have is coming out on Game Pass. They incentivize that stuff to be on Game Pass rather than that. Starfield didn't even come with like, I think, a physical disc. It came with like a code, right? And with the file sizes of a lot of these games, like they don't really, I don't think, okay, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but does Xbox use dual like 100 gigabyte layered Blu-ray discs, or is that just PlayStation? Because if Xbox doesn't use those 100 gigabyte discs, then you're better off just, if you're going to buy the console games, you're collecting that on PlayStation. But honestly, what you really should be worried about is just like your digital library more than anything. And I don't think you're going to have an issue with that. At least not in the near future. Xbox, that brand would just disappear overnight if they ever compromised their digital library. They still use the 50 gigabyte? Oh, yeah, I wouldn't collect. I mean, at least for the bigger games. If you have like smaller stuff, sure. But for the bigger games, no. Because then that requires you downloading stuff. And at that point, it's like buying a Switch game and half is on the cart, half is on the disc. Like, what the hell's the point, you know? Neo, did you hear about Dragon Quest 3 now possibly being a trilogy? Wait, what? I heard some rumors that they were doing, like, more than one of the Dragon Quest games in 2D HD. But are they taking the third game and they're, like, making 3 of them? Like, what's happening here? Was it, like, a mistranslation thing? Or how'd that work? All I need for them is to do is a Chrono Trigger 2D HD or Final Fantasy 6 2D HD. Yeah, if there is one benefit about Square Enix, is that now they're going to be multi-platform for a lot of their releases. So like the new Dragon Quest 2D HD is coming to Xbox. All 3 Dragon Quest OGs will be 2D HD. Oh, okay. I thought they were doing some weird thing where they were splitting it up into 3 games. I'm like, the fuck? Okay, that's sick. That's awesome. I just want them to re-release Dragon Quest 8, bro. Just spruce it up a little bit and just put it out. Come on. So what I think Xbox is going to do next generation, I think they're still going to put out a console, but they're going to start experimenting with weird shit, bro. I feel like we're going to get that Xbox handheld because that is a untapped market right now. We're seeing with like the Switch. PlayStation is probably working on their own PlayStation portable successor. Switch is still killing it. Steam Deck is doing its thing. All the other companies are doing their thing. So I think Xbox is going to get their own handheld that plays Xbox games. But I wouldn't be surprised if they start like licensing out the Xbox operating system to any manufacturer who wants to make stuff. So you can still play your Xbox library, and then maybe you could do like your PC stuff too. So it's kind of like the Steam machine in that case, which would be very different. We've never seen that done before to that degree, where a major console manufacturer puts out a product and then you could sideload Steam and have access to a completely different ecosystem, and yet you still have your Xbox games. That'll be different. But either way, give me that Xbox handheld. If you're telling me I can play my entire Xbox library on a fucking handheld, I live for that shit, bro. That's why I love the Steam Deck so much, bro. Because the reason why the Steam Deck works is because, like, if you have a big library on Steam, you don't have to buy anything else. You can just play almost all of those games at decent settings, depending on what the game is, though. If it's like the newer games, don't bother with it. But if you have games from like 5+ years ago, oh yeah, definitely, man. You can get some good shit going. Like Witcher 3, 60 frames per second, OLED, what? Dude, I'm telling them, like, come on, Dragon Quest 8, it's right there, bro. Dude, what I don't understand about companies like Square Enix is that they have like these franchises that make a shit ton of money, and they just don't do anything with the older games. Same thing with Nintendo, but we know why Nintendo doesn't do that. Like I always tell people, like, the best Fire Emblem games are not even the ones on the Switch, bro. Like, come on now. You could bring back all those old games. You could remaster them. You could just do a lot of shit, bro, but that requires effort, and Nintendo doesn't want to fucking do that. Cuz they give you the bare minimum and it works, because it does work, dude. Well, no, I'm saying that, like, not recent games on the Steam Deck, but you can play stuff from like 5+ years ago at decent settings and get good experiences. If you know what you're getting out of the Steam Deck, you can have a lot of fun. Obviously, you don't want to play like Dragon's Dogma at like 14 frames per second or some shit like that. Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. But it's good for what it is, like a smaller experience. Like, dude, I never understood handheld gaming. Gaming at your house is where it's at. Well, handheld gaming, to me, it's one of those things where it fulfills a specific niche. And that's the nigga that just does not want to play on his TV. Sometimes he wants to be in another room and play something, or he goes to another place and plays something. Like, whenever I would go over to like girlfriends' places or something, and I was there like sleeping over, if we weren't doing anything, like if we weren't like eating dinner or watching a movie, or I was blowing her back out or something, like I was playing a game or some shit. Because, I want to get farther in some of the stuff. And depending on what it was, like, I'd bring my Switch or my Steam Deck, depending on what I was playing. And for stuff like that, it works. But if you're somebody who you do all your gaming on a couch, you might not want to play on a handheld. You're like, what the fuck's the point? I have a big-ass TV here. Why would I need a handheld? But then some people, like the PS Portal, a lot of people like the PS Portal for some reason. And because people just, they're just like, I don't want to play on the TV. I want to play on the couch downstairs. Or they have the wife, and the wife is watching the TV and shit. So it happens, bro. And some games translate really well for the portable experience. Like Persona, really great portable game. Really good portable game. Like roguelikes, really good portable games. Visual novels, great portable games. Those things, yeah. Do you still play the 3DS? No, I haven't touched my 3DS. I haven't touched my 3DS since I got a Switch, man. I don't want to play a game in public. I'm kind of like Solid Rev. No, I mean, the thing, like, do I play games in public? I mean, not really, because when I'm out in public, I'm doing something. Either I'm like running errands, or like I don't have time to like whip out a Switch or something. The only time I've ever brought like my Switch somewhere is if I was at school and I had time to kill, I'd bring my Switch. Or if I'm at an airport, I'd bring my Switch, or something where I'm there for extended periods of time. But if I'm just like, okay, I'm going somewhere and I have to be like, wait one moment, like the doctor's office, I pull out my Switch, bro. To me, it doesn't justify bringing the Switch and its carrying case. In that situation, I'm just on my fucking phone. I'm just like, all right, what's happening here? I need to see it on the big screen for my Switch so it stays dock. You see, I used to think that too, Beetle Rods, but then I got an OLED TV and then I look at the Switch and I was like, ugh, motherfucker, you are hard to look at. For some games. Like, some games translate better than others. But other games, you're like, yep, that's under 720p. But the Nintendo games, they clean up okay. Yeah, like, I remember like Witcher 3, I played almost exclusively handheld mode on the Switch, bro. Because when I put that shit up in, this is before I had an OLED TV. This is like when I had a regular like 1080p HD TV. This is like 2019. I played Witcher 3 on my TV and I was like, that don't look good. But on the handheld, it was serviceable. It was a handheld. Yeah, Steam Deck is great for them indie games and those Xbox 360 games that aren't for those Xbox 360 era games that aren't like 60 frames on the consoles. Xbox has been dead since the late 360 and especially the Xbox One. All games that have live service, microtransactions, and overpriced releases, bundles, especially online requirement for physical, are auto trash. I mean, you're not wrong on those counts. That's why a lot of people have dipped out. Witcher 3 on any platform is bad, but I couldn't imagine playing it on the Switch. Listen, I put a whole playthrough in the Switch version, bro. I was locked in. When I said I made the Switch, I made the Switch, bro. I was locked in playing that shit. Would you spend $300 on a Zelda Deku Tree Lego set? No, I would not. But hey, it's a Zelda Lego set, so I'm sure someone out there will like it. Well, he means like the late 360 era. So he means like the tail end, like post the Kinect era. Hey, Zoidberg, what's up, bro? Witcher 3 on the Switch is a war crime. Listen, it was a period of time, and we were like, oh my god, and we played it, and we got through it, and man, come on now. It was the first version that had crossplay too, so you could play it on the PC and then put it on the Switch. Yeah, with them muddy ass textures and shit. Yeah, but we got through it, man, because we were about that Witcher life, bro. Hey, it was not no Borderlands 2 on the Vita. You want to talk about bad experiences that didn't run? That's Borderlands 2 on the Vita. Some of y'all are probably looking at me saying, they put Borderlands 2 on the Vita? What? Yes, go look it up. It is a crime and a sin against humanity in every multiverse. It was not good. Why would you play The Witcher 3 on the Switch? That sounds horrible. Hey, I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. We was about that Switch gang of the life, bro. I don't regret my time playing it. Now, having it on the Steam Deck is a completely different story. But I digress. It's the passage of time. Listen. Witcher 3 on the Switch stumbled, so Witcher 3 on the Steam Deck could spread its wings and fly. And that's all I will say. Leave it alone. Drop it. Do not bring this up again. Why would you play The Witcher 3 in general? Because it's like Lord of the Rings. It's one of the greatest pieces of media, and you need a certain level of intelligence to actually understand it on a critical level. Something that Don Otaku will never get to. But that's okay. That's okay. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Listen, all I'm saying is that if there ever is a platform where I could romance Triss, I'm gonna do it. I did my years of it. 12 of it in Azkaban. Yeah, my friend played Borderlands 2 on the Vita. That's how I found out about it. I had a double take. Yeah, it was nasty. No Witcher 3 slander. No Witcher 3 slander. Where you're getting timed out. Both Dons getting timed out. Yeah, something about dudes named Don and just like, the shit takes. I don't like it. I would wait on the raw guy like James Black. I would hold off for a hot minute. I mean, they're coming out with like this new-ish revision, but if you can get a raw galley for cheap, maybe. But remember, the battery life on that thing is not good. I mean, the Steam Deck battery life is not amazing, but the raw galley battery life, most people, they have that bitch plugged in, man. Yeah, it's all the Dons, bro. Oh, you know what? You know what? Not all the Dons. Not all the Dons. If there's a John in front of it, it's just like an exception to the rule. It's like that SpongeBob meme. It's like that SpongeBob meme where it's like there was like that creature, that bear thing or whatever, and they were in the circle, and it was like, I can't get in the circle. Yo, yeah, yo, everybody go look up Borderlands 2 Vita gameplay, and you're just like, how did this exist? You want to know something else that's kind of bad too? Jack and Daxter on the Vita. Ugh. That was nasty. The Vita, you want to talk about them porting bad shit to the Switch to make a quick buck. The Vita was the precursor to that, bro. Jesus. The protective circle was the safety threshold. Yeah, bro. All I'm saying, guys. All I'm saying is that I paid my dues. I paid my dues, bro. Yeah, all the Dons. Except John. Yeah, Jack and Daxter. That is a name I haven't heard in a very long time. Oh, but speaking of classic shit, you guys. Did you hear about this? Did you hear this, guys? Sly Cooper is coming back. Yeah, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. PS2 classic on PS5. Randomly out of the blue. I'm just like, oh shit, are we about to get the Sly trilogy on the PlayStation 5? I mean, we're never going to get a new Sly game. But hey, listen. PS2 classic. I'll take it, bro. Why not? I have it on the PS3. I got it on the Vita. I really enjoyed playing Sly Cooper on the Vita, bro. I think I got the platinum on that one too. Yeah, Sly Cooper is coming back, man. Yo, BG is in shambles. Yo, BG's gonna slander Sly Cooper this weekend. I just know he's gonna be like, that dirty raccoon. And I'm just like, BG, you had a pet rat named Sylvester. Stop this. That's my man's though, BG. I love BG. Even though he can't break a Blu-ray disc, that thing was whooping his ass, bro. But I mean, you should know better. Like, Blu-ray discs aren't like CDs where you can snap them. Blu-ray discs, I think you had to like get a knife and like that shit, bro. Is there even a state of play this month? In my mind and in my heart of hearts, I imagine a state of play every day. And I think the real PlayStation state of play is the friends we made along the way. Because her web connects us all. Madam Web. Available now on digital. Y'all, why are y'all hating on Sly Cooper? What the fuck did Sly Cooper do to you guys? Jesus. Yeah, honestly, I don't believe no state of plays. I don't believe no rumors. Because the thing about PlayStation Insiders is that PlayStation Insiders are always wrong. Always. Xbox Insiders, if an Xbox Insider tells you there's a PlayStation showcase happening, 8 out of 10 times is probably true. If a PlayStation Insider tells you that a PlayStation showcase is happening, run. Run far away in the opposite direction. Them niggas don't know shit, bro. There's like maybe one of them that was accurate. I don't even know if they're still around. All right, okay, but like leave Sly Cooper alone, please. Like, yes, he was no Ratchet or Jack and Daxter, but no slander, please. Trash Bandicoot. Oh, damn. This man said trash. You can't use your disc for slice and L for Sony. Well, remember, Sony doesn't have good backwards compatibility, so it's literally just like them getting their emulator working for those PS2 games, and then there. Yeah, it will never be as good as Xbox's approach. But Xbox, they stopped doing their their backwards compatibility for the Xbox OG generation. So it's one of those things where it's just like, I guess just be happy that the games are still around and you can still purchase them digitally. Like if Xbox was still doing Xbox OG classics, this would definitely be like a talking point, but they don't do them anymore. So it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, oh, okay. Not feeling the Crash Bandicoot hate. Sly Cooper hate, not Crash. I'm an ape. What? That's a whole lot of something, Gabe. Sly Cooper was the best PlayStation 2 platformer, honestly. Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank were deeply flawed. Yeah, no, I wouldn't play Jak and Ratchet for platforming stuff. I was playing those more as like action-adventure games with guns and funny weapons. Sly Cooper definitely had more platforming to it. More collectathon-y stuff. Crash was goated. LOL to people hating. Skill issue, skill issue, skill issue. No, but are they still like putting out a constant stream of like OG Xbox backwards compatibility games? They're not going to do it because from a logistics standpoint, it's not worth it because people don't buy it. And I don't blame them for not focusing on it. Every now and then they might throw you a bone, but it's not consistent enough. That's why PlayStation isn't serious about it either. 199 super chat from Zack Rodriguez. Do you see Xbox abandoning hardware and consoles? Not in the foreseeable future. I know we have one more generation, definitely, but it all depends on how heavily they're going to commit to this multi-platform approach. Because if they are going to be making a shit ton of money putting all of their first-party Xbox games on other platforms, I can see an era where maybe the Xbox hardware isn't as, focused on. Because they're just like, okay, we'll put out this Xbox console for our audience, and then the people who like Game Pass, but then everything else we'll put on the other systems. But I don't see them abandoning it wholeheartedly. Like, it literally would have to be the next Xbox comes out and nobody buys it for them to be like, fuck it, we're not doing this ever again. I'm talking like the shit does not sell, period, point blank. Like, if the Xbox... Because the series consoles, they're not selling horribly, but they're not selling great for what they should. For where we are in the generation 4 years in, they should be doing way better, but they don't have enough driving force behind it. There really isn't. Like, what sense is there for a casual person to pick up an Xbox console over a PlayStation or whatever? It's like nothing. Game Pass could have been that thing, but they haven't really focused on it, and now they're going to start focusing on it. So I want to see what the Xbox console does in like the next year or two. Obviously it's not going to eclipse PlayStation, but if it can become viable enough as a piece of hardware where they want to keep supporting hardware as a platform for Game Pass, then yes. Let's keep it real. Xbox does backwards compatibility the worst. On PS5, I just slide in the game and it works. Xbox makes you download a whole bunch of other unnecessary stuff. What do you mean, for example? Well, so the thing with Xbox One backwards compatibility, I only play Xbox One digital games. I have maybe 2 physical Xbox One titles, so I can't say as far as like what they do. But in terms of like backwards and forwards compatibility, from my experiences, Xbox is really good. Like things like smart delivery, them going back and like upgrading the games in terms of like boosting the frame rates and the upgrades attached to it, and just it being smart enough to detect what console's there, automatically grabbing like your save data and stuff. But I don't know, you're saying like with discs they make you download a whole bunch of stuff? Like what do you mean? I'm curious. I don't understand that. Because again, I don't know. Like from a physical point of view, I'm lost with that. From a digital point of view, it works fine. Unless you mean in the sense that like if you bought an Xbox One game and you're saying that the game, could it just be maybe the game itself, not all of it is on the disc? Because that happens with a lot of PS4 games too. Like there are some PS4 games where a lot of the content isn't on the disc and you have to download a lot of that digitally. It happened with a lot of stuff last generation. Maybe the PS4 games that you were buying were the complete versions of it, or they didn't need to have separate things on it outside of just patches. Because what happened with a lot of games last generation is it'd be like half disc and then half digital. But for the smaller stuff like a Persona 5, all you had to really do was like download the update patch data, and everything has update patch data. So it could be that you're referring to. Yeah, that's why I asked to clarify, because if it was something in particular with discs, maybe, but no, I think it might have just been the game itself not being 100% on the disc, which is a lot of the stuff from that generation. And it's not an Xbox exclusive problem. That happened on PS4 with a lot of like the bigger games. It happened on the Switch with some of the cartridges and all that. Sony is going to remaster the entire PS4 library anyway. Well, James Black, there really is no way for people nowadays to play PS4 games on PS5 because they're all too ugly and you need to remaster them. Like, look, dude, I'm just being honest. I think it's about time we need a God of War Ragnarok remaster. Like, I don't see this being discussed. I don't see it being discussed. I think we need a native God of War Ragnarok remaster, not God of War cross-gen. I'm talking about a native from the ground up God of War remaster. I think it's time. How about that Furiosa though? Yes, Gabe, we talked about it earlier, bro. Shit was so good. I might throw a chair if I see that Horizon remaster at the next showcase. Oh God. So you know what the funny oh, what's up, Steve Killer? You know what the funny thing is, guys? There is a rumored Horizon Lego game in the works. There's a rumored Horizon Lego game. Now, if that rumored of a Horizon... Why is my camera doing this weird fucking shit with the... Is it the white balance? Hold on. No, it's not the white balance. What is it then? Is it the exposure? Hold on. Whoa. That just fucked everything up. Oh, God. Why does it keep doing this? I don't know what it is about. There's like a weird handshake issue going on with my webcam and OBS where it's like every time I adjust the settings and I save it, it doesn't save and it just... I'll look into it later. Neo the Dark Knight. Yes, sir. Dun, 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 dun. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the Lego Horizon game. What if that rumored Horizon remake is just Horizon Zero Dawn, but in Lego? Could you imagine how fucking crazy it would be if they did both a Horizon Zero Dawn Lego game and a Horizon Zero Dawn remake? God. Dude, at that point, if somebody told me that Horizon was an industry plant, I wouldn't doubt them. Because the thing about Horizon is that it's cool. I like it. I enjoyed the first game well enough. The second game I still have to get to. But when I'm just seeing them, what they got in the pipeline, Horizon MMO, Horizon multiplayer game, Horizon 3, Lego Horizon game, this rumored I'm like, what the fuck? I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Not even The Last of Us got this much attention, bro. Last of Us got 2 games, a remake, and a TV show with a canceled fucking multiplayer game. Horizon is like, you getting 2 games, a VR game, a multiplayer game, an MMO game, a third game, a Lego game. I'm like, what are we doing? Dude, as weird as this shit sounds, and I'm not trying to knock Horizon, outside of this fucking gaming community, guys, I've never heard anybody talk about that game. I've heard people talk about random shit like Assassin's Creed. I say random, but I've heard people talk about fucking Assassin's Creed or something else. So maybe it just might be, one of the, yeah, it did get another remaster. Yeah, you're right. But it might be just one of those franchises where it's like, we don't really talk about it much, but like the people who are not in our sphere, they love it maybe? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know, bro, but I looked at that Horizon. I looked at that Horizon leaked roadmap. I was like, God, the gameplay is good. I don't really care much for Aloy though. And honestly, I think what that comes down to is just Guerrilla's writing, bro. The world of Horizon is really interesting, but Guerrilla's writing, it kind of puts me to sleep. They are trying to find the next big thing. Yeah, they're trying to find the next big thing. They're trying to find the thing that will catapult them to that success and get them on the level of like, yeah. Yeah, like honestly, the best part and what I enjoyed the most about the Horizon games were the friggin' crazy, crazy scale of the fights. That shit is top tier. Horizon. Yeah, like honestly, guys, I think it is about time for Horizon Forbidden West to get a freaking remaster. It's time. It's time, guys. I'm just saying. Controversial or not, it is time. You might not like it, but it's the truth. Horizon games or Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom? Oh, no, Zelda. Absolutely Zelda. Absolutely Zelda, man. Zelda's open world is just so much... by comparison, it's way better put together. Like, Horizon is a very well-made Ubisoft open world game, which, if that's what you're looking for, it's great. It's got better combat than Zelda, but Zelda has, like, more fun and mysticism to it. Zelda, yeah, sure, it's not great combat, but the shit that you can pull off in Zelda is sick. Horizon is... It's a very, very simple loop. It's a fun loop, but a very simple loop. Versus Zelda, it's just like, oh, there's different ways to take down this enemy right here with this different thing there, and then you go into exploration. It rewards you for exploring and finding different ways to do stuff, and the physics system is unmatched. Very different games. Very different games. Both fun games. But if I had to pick one or the other, it's going to be Zelda. Are you hyped for the Switch too? Absolutely. I am hyped for that. Oh, Lord. We needed a Switch 2 a long time ago, but, you know, it's about time. It's coming next year, guys. It's coming. It's coming. If there's one thing that I am very proud of myself, is that when I say something is coming, it is coming, bro. Straight up. Where's Super Mario Odyssey 2? I don't think we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna get we might get an Odyssey 2, but we're gonna get a new mainline Mario game. Yo, the fact that the Switch only had one mainline Mario game is insane to me. They had like Mario ports, they had Odyssey, and then they just had like all the other spin-offs, but only one thing, bro. But at this rate, it's gonna be a day one launch title. Oh Lord, he coming. But no, Super Mario Wonder, that was a 2D game. I'm talking like the mainline 3D games. Oh God, yeah, dude, Donnie, you have to. I had to unsubscribe for most of the Switch folks after like year, I want to say like 4 of the Switch, because they started getting a little too like, bro. But yeah, now they're kicking it back up again with all the leaks and the rumors and everything, and I'm just like, oh boy, here we go again. Hey, what's up, Toma? How you doing? I'm like one of the few people that doesn't like Mario 64 or Odyssey. Galaxy and Sunshine were great to me. Really? Interesting. I like, well, yeah, it's mainline 2D Mario, but we were talking about mainline 3D Mario, Don. Dude, it's insane. Like, I was there at the beginning of the Switch hype. Like, I bought my Switch. I didn't buy it on launch, but I bought it towards the end of the year, and then I was like fully convinced. I was like, holy shit, the Switch is awesome. I started making a lot of Switch videos, getting exciting for things. I did that for about like 2 years or so, 2.5 years. And afterwards I was just like, well, the Switch is killing it. It's doing its thing. There's really nothing else specific that I could talk about because it's on top. You know what I'm saying? It's like being a PlayStation YouTuber when the PS4 is at the top of the game. It's like, well, of course, you know? But with the Switch, it was just coasting on by, just kept killing it. It got, like, not boring, because I was playing the games, but there was nothing really to be like, dude, I remember there was one Switch channel I watched, like, I think in the first, like, 2017, 2018, where they did a video of, like, the top 5 games or whatever that still aren't on the Switch that were announced like 3 months ago. I was like, nigga, what? Like, bro, they just announced it was coming to the Switch. Give them time. What the fuck you mean top 5 games that still aren't out yet? Nigga, it's been 3 months. This ain't, you know, like the Cuphead DLC or you know, like where's like Silk Song? I was just like, bro, what? Oh, Obi-Wan Plays? I remember. Wait, was Obi-Wan Plays the dude who was like the one who everyone kept like pointing to for the Nintendo fans who always had like their mouth open in the thumbnails? I think that was him, right? Man, that was an era. If you buy a Switch, I have to wonder what game you bought it for. Because I feel like it was either those 4 Mario Kart, Smash, Pokemon. Well, everyone's different when it comes to the Switch. A lot of them primarily buy it for the exclusives, which I do too. My Switch is like purely, well, for the most part, exclusives only. But I do buy like indie games on there, smaller Japanese titles that I don't really care about the resolution or the performance, provided they run good on it. Because, you know, playing it portable is great. And this is before the days of the Steam Deck, mind you. The Switch is awesome for that. But if you're someone who plays like 99% of your games on PlayStation or Xbox, like you might just buy the Switch for the exclusives and that's it. What happened to Metro Prime 4? Your guess is as good as mine, my friend. Oh man, yeah, that dude. I just remember the jokes, bro. How much longer are you streaming for? I'll go for like another couple of minutes. Probably wrap it up in like 10 minutes, maybe. This is not supposed to be a Horizon slander stream. It wasn't. We said the good things about it. Man, there are people I know who only bought a Switch for Pokemon. Man, that's probably been the most disappointing past couple of years of their life. Yeah. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine being a dude who knocked some chick up that he didn't want to knock up? And then, like, while the baby is being born, he's over there playing something like Pokemon Sword and Shield. I wouldn't wish that on my enemy, bro. That's disappointing. That is disappointing, my friends. Jesus. I think the Switch 2 is going to have a really good first year. I'll tell you guys why. This year right now for the Switch is very, very... It's very... Like, what's the biggest game coming out for the Switch this year? Paper Mario? Let's be real. Switch 2, they're pushing back everything. Why is the fire alarm going on? Is it because I'm spitting heat right now? Yes, sir. Switch 2, if it were to drop this year, it would have had a lot of heat. But now they're pushing everything back. Like that Mario game. I assume we're going to get a Zelda port on the Switch, 60 frames. You know, maybe Metro Prime 4 definitely is going to be a cross-gen game at this rate. Yeah, Super Mario RPG came out. Last year. Yeah, Switch 2 is going to be crazy, bro. Pokemon Legends Arceus was the only saving grace from the Switch era of Pokemon games. Yeah. But you know what the sad thing is? All those other Pokemon games sold insane, man. And that's why that's why I stopped complaining about Pokemon, guys. I stopped complaining about Pokemon like 5 years ago. Because at the end of the day, I'm in the minority. Clearly, people who play the Pokemon games, they keep buying it, so they don't have a problem with it. You know, or maybe they say they have problems with it, but Game Freak, Pokemon Company, Nintendo, they're not fucking listening. It's like Pokemon is the most high profile, like the way people are treating it sounds like an independent game with a $25 budget. Jesus. Kingdom Hearts on Switch 2, Persona 3 Reload on Switch 2, Metaphor Fantasio on Switch 2. Dude, that Switch 2 is going to be fucking nuts in Japan. Now that Square Enix is going full multiplat, bro, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth on that Switch 2. Oh, buddy. Most people don't understand. The Switch is running like mobile architecture from 2015. So this is like tech that's like 10 years old. Oof. So that Switch 2 is going to be like night and day by comparison. I can't wait. Donkey Kong 64 sequels coming to the Switch 2. That's what I want. You want the most collectathon game of collectathons. Holy. That man Toma is just like, I need 20,000 collectibles in my game or else I'm not touching it. I would love for them to do a classic Zelda game. Even if they had like a smaller team working on it, I think that'd be so fucking sick. Because, you know, that next Zelda game is going to take a hot minute. Or, you know, they could just bring us Wind Waker HD, you know, but just being presumptuous. But at that point, if they put a Wind Waker HD on the Switch, like, what benefit is it really going to get? Nothing, except the fact that they're going to have my dumbass buy the Switch 2 day one, just to play it there. Yo, how wild would it be if they remade Oracle of Seasons? Yo, that is something so left field I could see them do. Did you like the 2 mainline Mario games on the Switch? I liked Odyssey. I didn't play Wonder, though. I'm just waiting for... Because those type of games, I just want to do, like, co-op with my friends. Neo, you know Halo, Gears, and Starfield are going to be that Switch 2 day one. Nintendo fans are going to be feasting. Yo, dude, the fucking Master Chief Collection on the Switch. Oh, my God. Dude. The Master Chief Collection on the Switch. Master Chief Collection anywhere you go. You just bring fucking your controllers with you and you could do 4-player split screen. Oh my God. Dude, that'd be fucking nuts. I'm waiting for all those Xbox games on that Switch too, bro. Until I get that Xbox handheld, that's gonna be my baby. I'm a double dip, bro. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about 3D World's co-op. I've heard a lot of good things about playing it in co-op. Playing it by yourself, I heard it's kind of like whatever, but playing it in co-op, yeah. And I heard the what was it, the Bowser DLC was good too. Do you think F-Zero might finally get some love? Maybe that might be the one franchise that they bring back next generation. Yo, I remember that canceled Halo game. Dude, you remember, wasn't there supposed to be like a Banjo-Kazooie game? I think on like, was it on the DS? Or something? Yeah, I don't know. My only question is, what advantage will Xbox gamers get from their games being multi-platform? Oh, no, there's no advantage. Xbox gamers, they don't get an advantage of that. The only advantage the Xbox gamers have is that if they're all still on Game Pass, they play it for free-ish. Bro, we need to run that, and the online actually works good for it. Oh, really, Don Otaku? I'll take your word for it. Next time it goes on sale for 2 cents off, I'll look into it. God, the Xbox 720. Yeah, the Xbox 720 and the PS4 videos. F-Zero would only appeal to like the hardcore who want something that's not Mario Kart. But Nintendo, I feel I think they don't want to sabotage their bread and butter with Mario Kart. So that's why we haven't gotten a new F-Zero. So it's kind of like they don't want to be putting out like Need for Speed and freaking Project Cars if everything was under one publisher, that type of shit. Which is stupid because they're 2 different games. But Nintendo, like I said, Nintendo is Nintendo. This multiverse is kicking your ass right now. Why? The servers? Xbox games get the warm, fuzzy feeling of seeing everyone else play their games. What more could you want? Oh, God. Yeah, I guess. If that brings you happiness, seeing your games available on more platforms. Sure. I mean, for the longevity of some games, maybe that might be good. You know, Gears on PlayStation, higher player base, cross-play, and... You know, yeah, you like that Gears of War. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Why are the Kirby games so easy? Why are all the Nintendo games easy? That's what I want to know. Nintendo doesn't want to make their games challenging. Yeah, no, Multiverse is... I was watching some gameplay today. It looked very slow by comparison. My Xbox hot take, the Kinect was lit. The Kinect was... Okay, so... The Kinect was lit in the sense that, like, the stuff that you could do when it worked, I thought was fascinating. Like, voice commands, using the camera to scan the codes you got into the game boxes. That stuff is cool. So using it as, like, a virtual assistant, I think, is great. Everything else they were trying to do for gaming, like, they were trying to do a Ghost... You guys remember that one E3 where they were showing off a Ghost Recon game for Kinect? And they were using no controllers, and they were like, they did like this Iron Man thing, where, you know how Iron Man in the movies, he swipes through stuff, and it's so cool and futuristic. They were doing that in this demo. Shit looked fake as fuck, but it was cool. And then they were like saying like, all right, let's get into gameplay. And the guy was huddled up like this, and he was opening up his hand to shoot. It was the dumbest thing in the world. You guys gotta look this up. I think it was like 2010, 2011. But yeah, Xbox was pushing that shit like it was the second coming of Jesus, and you needed it. If they didn't have that shit in the Xbox One, it would have done better. Bro, there's all these multiplayer games coming out, bro. They're like, what do they have? They had Multiverses, Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon had one too. There's a lot of this shit, and I feel like they keep flopping, bro. Hey, Neo, what do you think Xbox is cooking for their showcase? Well, we're going to see more updates, and we're going to get release dates, I believe, on all the stuff they showed off. So, Avowed, Indiana Jones. I think that Doom game is basically damn near announced at this point. So, that new Doom game, Gears 6. If Gears 6 is not at the showcase, I'd be very shocked. Unless they want to wait until the Collision is ready, and the Collision is like, hey, it's coming out tomorrow, guys. And it's like, no, don't shadow drop it, please. Please. We want you to stay alive, Coalition. No shadow drop. Build hype. Golly, bro. New Halo game? Unless they have another studio cooking something small, I don't think so. I mean, Certain Affinity I know is doing something, but 343, them niggas, they have better leadership now, but it's going to take a while for them to work on something. But yeah, I think if they show off Gear 6, I'm talking like the stuff we don't already know about, like Call of Duty, Black Ops, and Game Pass and shit like that. Gear 6, Doom, a bunch of release dates for stuff we know, and they can say that all that stuff is coming out here. If we get first looks at like State of Decay 3. If we get an updated look at Fable, I would love that. Because they have a lot of stuff. Because you guys got to remember, they announced almost all of this shit back in 2020. So we're at that point now where it's like, you guys, this shit should be out within a year. Like, Fable should be out next year, right? Right? I hope so. If it's 2026, Jesus Christ. But we're at that point now where feasibly Fable, State of Decay 3, all this stuff should be in a showable, presentable form. Like, Fable we did see, but I'm talking like, can I just see someone with a controller, like, just playing it? Give me a full section. Like, that's what I need, bro. I pray they aren't wasting resources on a Banjo game. Well, okay. How would you guys feel if Toys for Bob, they're working on one of the three, Banjo, Spyro, or Crash? What do you guys think? Banjo, Spyro, Crash. What do you think Toys for Bob is doing? I have a feeling Toys for Bob, if Microsoft was smart, just to shut people up, they would do Banjo. Crash already had another game, so I don't think we need that. But I wouldn't be shocked if Crash is the easiest one for them to do, because they already have the framework. But I would rather, all right, give me a Banjo game, Spyro, and then Crash. Because Crash already had his time, bro. They gave him something. This man's like anything but Banjo. Yo, the Banjo slander going crazy tonight. The Banjo slander is going crazy. Listen, Banjo's cool to me. I mean, I don't love Banjo as much as other people, but yo. Love Banjo, but it is not happening. Dude, if they show up at like, I'm telling you, dude, if they show Spyro, you're going to see half the time I say, yay, a new Spyro. The other time I was going to be like, the dream is dead. The dream is dead, guys. Oh. Dude. No, you know what? You know what? Wild card. This is never going to happen. Never going to happen. You know what the streets need? And I think what can put Xbox back on the map, truly? Give me a new Conker's game, bro. Put Conker in the modern day. Conker takes New York City, bro. Can we get that kind of game? Like a stylized New York City with Conker in it, bro? Holy shit, that would be amazing. I would fuck with a Conker game where he's in the real world. That would go so fucking hard, bro. Oh my god. That would be so fucking funny. Like, dude, we could see, like, I'm not talking like a regular Conker game. I'm talking like Conker 2 Lost in the City. Like, we can do this shit. We can I hate that I said this, because now I want that, and if I never get that, I'm just so annoyed. What if it's a new Conker, but it's a Switch 1 exclusive? A Switch 1 exclusive? I'll take that. Fuck it. Conker fighting those big-ass New York rats. Oh my god, could you imagine the freaking commentary from Conker about that shit? Oh my god, dude. You know what'd be so fucked up? If they start out the trailer and it's like, oh, you think it's Conker, but it's Super Lucky's Tale. And they're like, no, fuck Super Lucky's Tale. And then Conker comes in like, hey, baby, I'm back. Holy, that would be sick. If somebody was smart at Xbox, they would do that. And it could be so funny. You get some good writers attached to it. You have fun with it. Damn. I would love that shit. Fuck. I shouldn't have said that, man. What's the point of the Switch Lite? It's not even a Switch. Well, it's just branding, and people who just wanted like a traditional... They wanted a smaller Switch, essentially. More compact Switch. Get Squanch Games who did High on Life to do it. Hey, that's not a bad idea. They fixed that gameplay, I can see it. Conker Runs for President, written by the South Park guys, and Dave Chappelle. And Dave Chappelle. Put Dave Chappelle as a character in that game. Okay, actually, please. Someone smart at Xbox, Neo comedian. Listen, I just said if there was someone smart, there's got to be somebody there. There's got to be someone there on the sidelines who's just like, please, please, Phil. But dude, Conquer Takes New York would be fucking sick, dude. Conquer Takes New York. Is Hellblade 2 a yay or an A for you? It is a nothing at the moment because I have not played Hellblade 2. Technically I've been playing games similar to Hellblade. I've been watching movies, so there is that. Tango should do it. Oh God, don't say that. The wound is still open. It's still fresh. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Young Conquer? John McKinney with the $9.99 super chat. Ooh, my brother. Let's see what you got for us today. So first super chat. IMDb trivia on Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame. Esmeralda was going to kill Judge Frollo in order to save Quasimodo by kicking Frollo off the cathedral, but they had to scrap it in order to avoid a PG-13 rating. So are you asking yay or nay? Second super chat is, would you have liked it if they went with that ending, and do you think parents would have gotten upset? Well, the funny thing about Hunchback of Notre Dame, I feel like when you talk about the Disney movies of that era, that's kind of the one that Disney just does not bring up a lot. And that has to do with the fact that it was the darkest of the movies. Even though it was great, it had a great soundtrack, it was just very, very dark. It dealt with a lot. Like, the story of Quasimodo in general, that is not something I think you can really sell to kids. Like, you had like the little toys and things like that. But I mean, Quasimodo, him being a disfigured individual, a human being, not like an ugly monster. Like, this is a human being that was disfigured. And then you have Judge Frollo, who is just a terrible, terrible, terrible human being. And he was about to do some wild shit to Esmeralda. Like his just lust for her and everything. And he murdered a woman in the beginning of the movie. I wouldn't be surprised if that original ending did get cut, bro. I wouldn't be shocked at all, man. I think that in a perfect world, I feel like that is something dope that Esmeralda could have done. But just the powers that be at Disney, it's a miracle that that movie got made in the first place. But it is still fantastic. And shout out to John McKinney for the $2.99 super chats. I appreciate you, my brother. If you guys have not seen Hunchback of Notre Dame, I believe it is on Disney Plus, right? It should be. Great movie. And the music, the soundtrack, the first song they have in it, The Bells of Notre Dame. I just love how they did bring it up in Kingdom Hearts. They did bring it up in Kingdom Hearts, bro. I was just like, out of all the things, you got Hunchback. Hey. All I'm saying is, listen, for the next round of Kingdom Hearts games, Treasure Planet, Atlantis, if they put those in them, I need them to go balls to the wall. I don't need it to just be a theme park attraction looking level. You could make whole worlds out of that shit. Like kind of what you did in Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order, making worlds and shit. Do that for Atlantis. Do that for Treasure Planet, bro. Fuck, those are so good. I love those movies. Oh, God. All you know of it is Kingdom Hearts, but you gotta fix that. You gotta watch the movie. It's awesome. Hunchback of Notre Dame is awesome. Simpsons and Kingdom Hearts 4? Fuck it. Why not, bro? That'd be funny. Simpsons and Kingdom Hearts, we can have... Well, yo, ever since y'all told me that, nigga, they put in Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts, I'm like, yeah, right. And they're like, no. Go back and watch the trailer. And I was like, all right, let's watch the trailer. It's a forest, guys. Come on now. And then they're like, no, but look in the corner. And I was like, oh. Oh, shit. We getting Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts. $5 super chat coming in from Don Otaku. Pick 4 first-party Nintendo Switch games that will launch on the first year to lead the Switch 2 to its most successful launch ever. Well, the thing is about the Switch 2, simply based off of inertia, Don, it's going to sell gangbusters. Because there's going to be a lot of people who want to get the new Switch from a power point of view. There's going to be a lot of people who want to get the new Switch because they're going to have games that aren't on the OG Switch. So it could, like, remember, the original Switch didn't have a great launch lineup. All it had was Zelda. A few months later, it had a Mario port, and it wasn't until the holiday when they had Mario Odyssey. So the Switch's first year was really like nothing insane, but it sold so well because those games were strong and it tied people over. But if I had to pick 4 games that could get people to be like, holy shit, the Switch. First things first, a new Mario game. A new mainline 3D Mario game launching day and date with the Switch. But the thing is, they don't even have to do that. If they launch the Switch in the spring, they could launch that Mario game in the fall and it'll still do 20 million. So I'll say like launch window, 6 months. 3D Mario game. It's about time. Metroid Prime 4. Show it off on the Switch 2 as the best version of the game. Do whatever you have to do to make that shit look even better than it is on the regular Switch. Metroid Prime 4. I'm hesitant to say a new Mario Kart in the first couple of months. Even though that is the logical choice because that's what they did with the original Switch. And this would be a brand new Mario Kart. But I'm hesitant because it would have to be like so radically different from the original Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with all the new content to get people interested. Because now there's a lot of stuff. Because like with Smash Bros, you're always going to get new people to buy a system for Smash Bros. Because there's just, from a competitive point of view, and just like new characters that'll be added and shit like that aren't going to be on the old version. But now it's like with Mario Kart, it's like, okay, well, we have all this stuff here. What's different about the new one? Well, the fact that it's a new Mario Kart 11 years later, that should be a big selling point, and how it controls and all that stuff. So fuck it, we'll put Mario Kart in the mix. So that's that. It's 3. And the 4th one, I got one. The 4th game that could truly turn the tides would be Legs. Yeah. Think about that. Think about that, you guys. You weren't expecting that. You guys weren't expecting that. Just being honest. The sequel to ARMS, Legs. $2 super chat from Pooh Bear. If you were the writer for Kingdom Hearts 3, what would have happened? Okay. So, if I was the writer for Kingdom Hearts 3, I mean, this is kind of hard to say, like, because now it comes down to making individual changes to the story and stuff. My biggest thing that I would do from a superficial standpoint with the story of Kingdom Hearts 3 is I would spread the story out all throughout the game. Because one of my biggest complaints with KH3 is that a lot of the heavy story significance really doesn't happen until the final act of the game. Like, they have little, like, whispers happening in between the worlds, but not like the previous Kingdom Hearts games, like Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, where the story was unfolding regardless of what world you went through. Like, yeah, some worlds had less storytelling than others, but there was still, like, a semblance of a story happening, and then you would always get the cutscenes of stuff going down. Kingdom Hearts 3, it didn't feel like much of anything was happening until you get to the final encounter. And at that point, it's just like, what the fuck was I doing for the past, like, 20-something hours? So I would take the time to flesh out the story all throughout the worlds. I would take the time to not just focus so heavily on, like, that final battle. And, yeah. I would definitely spend a lot more time developing, like, Kairi as a character. I mean, yeah, it sucks to have to develop her in the final game. But I would spend a lot more time developing her as a character before they try to do what they do. Like, I would definitely, like when Kingdom Hearts has those emotional moments with certain characters, you can see, like, okay, there's something here. But it kind of feels half-assed in that sense, because it's going based off your nostalgia and love for these characters that you've known since, like, 2003 and 2005 and shit like that. So I would take the time to, like, just have more character building moments spread out throughout the course of the game. What do you think of the rumored Rocksteady? Well, so basically what's happening is the former heads of Rocksteady, they started a new studio. They're working on a AAA game, and apparently Xbox is, I believe, publishing it and helping them get it all together. If true, that's fascinating, because it's so funny because that's the shit that people have wanted Xbox to do for the longest time. Like, hey, take opportunity and risks and chances with all these other studios and do stuff, especially when there's good talent. But I don't really know about it because this game is not going to be out until like the end of the decade anyway, and we don't know what it'll be outside of it being like a AAA game, action adventure, Unreal 5. So it remains to be seen. I'll worry about the quality of that. Because what happened to that rumored IO Interactive game? Aren't they still working on a game with Xbox too, in addition to James Bond? Yo, where's that James Bond game? My God, IO. I need that shit, bro. The sequel to ARMS would be called Chest. Oh my lord. What the fuck? Followed by thighs. Hey, that sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. That Wonder Woman game is still being worked on. Dude, that next Monolith game, like folks don't understand what Monolith was able to accomplish on the Switch, on the Wii U, needs to be studied. And what they're able to do on that next system is going to be insane. Yeah, no, people ain't ready for that conversation about Monolith. I'm gonna just wait for that Switch 2 to come out, because then people can't start saying some shit like, oh, underpowered, and then you just see what they pull off there. Yeah, y'all gonna see. Man. But yeah, guys, I'm looking at the clock right now, and it's about to be 10 o'clock, y'all. So we went a little over. We went for a solid 3 hours tonight. Holy shit. But, you know, it's always a great time hanging out with y'all. You know the vibes, as per usual. So I want to thank y'all for coming through to another Ask Neo episode. If y'all could do me a favor, if you haven't by now, make sure you hit that like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. Give your boy a follow on Twitter and on Instagram. And our Discord community, the Phantom Weirdos, is down below in the video description. Shout out to all of the people who pulled up. Shout out to all the mods. Shout out to all the super chats. Thank you guys so much for the support. Shout out to the people who joined for the YouTube membership. And before we go, you guys know this is a custom by now for the stream. We're going to have ourselves a hydration check. Now, unfortunately, tonight's hydration check is not really going to be much of one, because I only have this much left of seltzer. And I already killed this water bottle here. So we're just going to make do with what we got. But yeah, you guys, grab your favorite H2O beverage of choice. And on the count of 3, we're going to hydrate up in this motherfucker. 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4, 3. Yes, sir. Thirsty ass motherfuckers up in the building. No vodka, no Hennessy tonight, David. We are sober free. We are sober free for the week, most likely. Because, man, we killed too much liquor last week. Holy shit, guys. When's the next movie night? I'm not entirely sure when, but it's probably going to be going down sometime in June. I'm trying to at least do like one type of community activity a month. Sometimes a movie night, sometimes a game night. But yeah, it's probably going to be going down in June, because we're at the end of May, guys. Holy shit, we made it through another month. Made it through another friggin' month, man. But yeah, you guys, enjoy the rest of your mornings. You baited me the 2.5. Yes, sir. But at least it got you to drink more water. So there you go. Mission accomplished. Anyways, guys, enjoy the rest of your mornings, your evenings, your afternoons. Thank you guys so much, as always, for your continued support. Be excellent to each other, but most importantly, be excellent to yourselves. And from me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.